Smith throws the ball upfield, open in the end zone, and it's going to be a touchdown.
Oh, he wasn't down. He's going all the way. That's a touchdown.
Field in Wilmington. It is the 87th annual Thanksgiving Day Classic here between the Wilmington Wildcats and the Tewksbury Redmen, and we'd like to welcome you to today's live broadcast on Wilmington Community Television. For those of you watching us on Comcast Channel 9, Verizon Channel 37, we want to welcome you to today's broadcast. It looks like a great game. It's a beautiful day outside, and down on the side of the field today is Jim Boyle. Jim, take it away.
Thanks, Chris. You're right. Beautiful day. Great crowd coming in. Two teams. Really big up front. Defensive lines, they got a great quarterback. The Cats are going to really have to focus on trick plays, throwing the ball around the field a little bit, try not to run right into the line to have a chance. It's for the first win since 2009, and this is our first game here at the field since 2018 as well. So during the route, an opportunity for us to snap a little bit of long skid against Tewksbury, try to change it back for these seniors that Coach Turner has will be very important. So like I said, it's a beautiful day for football. Great day to have Thanksgiving. I hope everybody enjoys the broadcast, especially those people who might be watching us on Tewksbury TV as well. So I'm going to send it back up to Chris for the opening kickoff, and thank you very much.
Both teams have had very successful seasons so far. It should be a very competitive game. Wilmington coming in after a second-round playoff loss to Foxborough a couple of weeks ago. And then Tewksbury won their consolation round game against Wayland a week and a half ago as well. It looks like it's going to be a great day for football. The sun is out. The stands are starting to fill up here. And we'll be ready for a kickoff of tonight's game and the national anthem right after this.
This WCTV sports presentation is brought to you by...
If you haven't visited us recently, we've made some changes we think you'll like. Introducing the Doobie Difference. We now offer upfront pricing, 3-day worry-free exchange. Non-commissioned salespeople get paid to make you a happy customer. That's the Doobie Difference. Online at BillDoobieHyundai.com.
Okay, folks, we're back at Alumni Field for the beginning of today's game. Thanksgiving Day, Tewksbury-Wilmington, something we both towns look forward to on a regular basis. I think the Wildcats are about to take the field. Tewksbury Redmen are on the far sideline. And we are looking forward to a great game today. Both teams are very competitive. Both teams have very dynamic quarterbacks. Pedro Germano, number 1 for the Wildcats, and number 9, Danny Fleming, for the Tewksbury Redmen. I think that those of you that are watching today are in for a great day. A lot of entertainment here in the football sideline.
Yeah, Chris, we're just waiting. The bagpiper we're supposed to lead the football team in about 6 minutes ago, so we might be getting a little bit late here and coming out. Tewksbury looks ready to go. Cats, again, this is the final game for all the seniors here at home, so it's a big night, big day for them. First time we've been here in 3 years because we missed last year as well. So it's important to get off to a good start here. And get off to a good start. And once we do that, it'll be interesting to see how Tewksbury plays it, because I'm sure we'll be keying on that quarterback who scored 5 touchdowns in his last game. So here come the Cats are coming in from the left side of the field. Beautiful day here too, Chris. We were very lucky and blessed to have that. Like I said, on field, I'd like to welcome any viewers from Tewksbury watching. We apologize if we mispronounce names of your student athletes. Try to be as fair as possible in the booth here, and have a good, clean Thanksgiving Day game. Wilmington trying to get off the schneid since 2009, so it's been a long time. And here comes that bagpiper leading the team onto the field to run through the banner with the cheerleaders, and we'll get ready to start the action, Chris.
The large production team in place today to bring you this live broadcast. Adam Dusenberry is our producer and our director. We'll mention him later on in the broadcast as well. Jim Buckley helped us set up this morning. Ashley Stevens is our master control operator on the remote site. Want to thank our co-camera people here, Sean Tivnan, Tom Pizarro, and George Breslin down on the field. My sideline partner, Jim Boyle, and myself, Chris Nibble, want to welcome you to today's game. And here come the Wildcats taking the field. I want to take a moment to thank the Wilmington Rotary Club for serving breakfast to the football team this morning here at the high school cafeteria. In fact, two people in particular, PA announcer over here, Kevin Kyer, and my sideline commentator, sidekick Jim Boyle, both helped us serve breakfast this morning. And I think we're getting ready for the national anthem, or we may wait until after the coin flip. We'll see that. But anyway, while I have a moment before the festivities start, I want to mention the library, both for Wilmington and Tewksbury, have asked us to make an announcement. Some of you may be aware that they've been having a competition on the amount of time and hours spent reading over the last couple of months. So we have the results this morning. The rivals competition between the Wilmington Memorial Library, the Tewksbury Public Library since October 12th. Library users in both communities have been logged on to their reading minutes as part of this competition. We're pleased to announce that Team Wilmington has defeated Team Tewksbury 770,000 minutes to 761,500 minutes. So we thank you to the 980 library users between the two communities who participated and read more than 1.5 million minutes over the past 6 weeks. We have a coin flip at the center of the field. Wilmington co-captains John Ryan, number 54, Marcello Mizaraka, 25, Gavin Erickson, number 11, and
Jake
Chiricello, number 79. Danny Fleming, number 9 for Tewksbury, and they have a bunch of offensive and defensive linemen who are also co-captains, and we'll go over them real quick. We have, let's see, Da Vinci Sidney, number 77. Number 68 is Aaron Connolly. Number 60, let's see. We got number 60 is co-captain Cole Kimtis. Who am I missing?
77.
70, I got 77. 67, Nick Wilson.
Be interesting to see what who wins the coin flip if they defer or take the ball, because both these are dynamic offenses. Wouldn't be shocked to see a high-scoring game. So it looks like Tewksbury won the toss, and they're going to defer. So Katz and Pedro are going to get the ball first, Chris, after we get to pass this national anthem. And it'll be really interesting to see. Tewksbury decides to defer, and they're going to use their size, offense and defensive size, to try to manhandle the Cats. So, like I said, looking forward to a very interesting game, hopefully high-scoring and exciting. Crowd is still filling in here on Thanksgiving morning. Couldn't get a better day for football either.
For those watching live, we're going to be covering the halftime show live. Jimmy is also going to be down on the sideline at halftime for an interview with the Town Crier's own Jamie Pote. Talk about how the first half of the game went, and then if things go right, maybe we'll have a sideline interview at the end of the game, depending on who's available to talk. So the teams huddle up in the center of the field. Once they get to the sideline, I'm sure the band will take over for the national anthem. Kind of a slow arriving crowd here today. Again, two very good football teams, and I think we're going to have a lot of fun on the press box today.
Probably people getting the turkeys in the oven before they're coming out, Chris. So we got a 10 o'clock start. So for all of you, like I said, watching at home, welcome. If this is your first time live, seeing us live, which is our first time going live this year, right, Chris, I think?
I believe so.
We're getting ready for the national anthem.
And welcome back to the beginning of today's Thanksgiving Day football game between the Tewksbury Redmen and the home team Wilmington Wildcats. Thank you again for joining us in this live broadcast on WCTV. Jim, we covered a couple of playoff games in the last couple of weeks. For those of you that are watching, we did cover the Foxborough game, but we had some technical difficulties with the video, so we were unable to cover that. If you're interested in watching that Foxborough game, the Foxborough Community Television did a phenomenal job. They have a 6-camera shoot down there. If you want to watch that, you can go into YouTube and watch Foxborough Cable TV to pick up that game as well. So we're almost ready for the opening kickoff today. Deep back for the Wilmington, number 5, Mike Lawler. On the near side is going to be John Germano, number 2.
Again, good opportunity for the Cats to get off to a good start here this morning. A little bit bright sunshine shining off the field.
I believe Cody LeGrand sets the ball up at Tewksbury, number 89, at the 40-yard line. And we are underway. Short kick taken by Lawler at the 28-yard line. He cuts up through the middle, left to right. He's out to the 35-yard line where he's brought down by a host of Tewksbury tacklers. And we have the game underway. Tackle on the play by Mike Sullivan. and Aaron Connolly in on the tackle for Tewksbury. So Wildcats come out 1st and 10 at their own 35-yard line.
That's one thing, Chris, they've done well all season is control the kickoff. I mean, they catch it, they don't let it bounce, they're not getting deep in their own territory. Good run back. Mr. Germano did a good job in catching that ball and running. Let's see what his brother can do on offense.
Mizuraka alone in the backfield with Pedro Germano. Handoff to Mizuraka. He tries to cut up over left tackle. He's going to be stopped for a gain maybe of a yard. And there's now 11 Tewksbury Redmen in on the tackle to bring Mizuraka down at the 36-yard line.
This will be key here, whether the Cats, like we've always talked about, can control the line of scrimmage or not. There, obviously, it's not. These are some big bodies on Tewksbury. So it'll be really tough to run the football successfully, especially straight like that little off tackle counter or that jam up the middle they do with the fullback. So it'll be up to the coach to really try to move around, shift a little bit, try to get Tewksbury off balance, maybe beat their secondary if they have to. Tewksbury has lost 2 of the last 3 and survived Wayland last week by 35-30. So it'd be interesting to see what happens.
2nd and 9 from the 36. Erickson in motion, handoff through the first man through. It's Mizuraka, I believe, out to the 37-yard line.
And not looking like it's going to be a successful play call to run the ball at this team. So now I see that looks like Mallinson comes in and looks like he'll spread it out here, try to throw. I mean, you got to count your quarterback. Pedro has done a really good job all year. Pedro Germano as a quarterback, making proper decisions. Sort of laxed a little bit last time down in Foxwood. He threw 2 interceptions late, but they were trying to come back, so Foxwood knew they were throwing. He's done a great job all year with his decision making, so now the coach is going to have to count on it here.
Jake Chiricello is centering the ball this week. He moved over to the interior of the line. Pedro is back. The pass pressure's on. He scrambles, and he's going to be brought down for a tackle in the backfield.
Yeah, negative play, not what you want. First series down. So we just a missed block here. The 13 came in off the edge.
Blake Ryder, the defensive, I think, linebacker on the far right side. He came in late and caught Pedro for a long loss of about 14 yards.
So they're going to have to be quicker. They're going to punt here. But again, this is not going to be a can of corn, shall we say, with this Tewksbury defensive front. So big punt here again.
Pedro in punt formation, a high snap. Gets the ball away. It's a low rider. Kind of falls at the Wilmington side of the field, rolls out of bounds at the 48-yard line of Wilmington. So Tewksbury has good field position as they take over 1st and 10.
So deferring made sense for Coach Howard there. He gets his offense in positive territory. And now it'll be up to the Wildcat defense to stand tall. Like I said, their quarterback has played phenomenal the last couple weeks. I think he had 5 touchdowns, was responsible for all, in some way, shape, or form, all 35 points. That Tewksbury scored against Wayland a week and a half ago. So I'm sure they'll be keen on him, so don't be shocked to see other offensive players highlighted here by Tewksbury.
Okay, Justin DeRigo, actually a tight formation. This worked well several weeks ago for Bill Ricca. Student body straight, and they stopped for a short gain of about 2 yards down to the 46-yard line. I think somebody from Tewksbury was on the sidelines watching the Bill Ricca Wilmington game here back in the end of October when Bill Ricca was able to just kind of push the ball right through the middle of the defensive line for the Wildcats.
And there will be important there. Rind, Mizuraka in your middle linebacker positions there with everyone to just really got to jam that line and stop that forward motion. It was a good first down defensive play for the Cats.
So Mike Sullivan splits wide for the Redmen on the far right side. Justin DeRigo, the up back. Man in motion. The pitch back is to DeRigo. Actually, that's Alex Arbogast, number 24. He's brought down after a gain of about 5 yards.
The defensive end got penetration and missed. They forced the ball inside a little bit to make the tackle lower, to limit the yardage there. But it's going to, again, important. Other things that are important. They have to tackle. The Cats have to tackle. Missed tackles will be deadly against this Tewksbury team. They got good power and speed runners as well. So you got to make those tackles. It's a good play by Rooney to get the penetration, force that play inside, whereas linebackers were there to make the tackle. So again, they picked up 4 or 5 yards, but it was really good defensive play. They forced Tewksbury to do something they didn't want to do.
3rd and 4. 2 men in the backfield to the right. And Fleming keeps the ball himself, and it looks like he's going to have enough He's close to a first down. Looks like he may have it down to the 37-yard line.
So they've run 3 plays, 2 by the quarterback, 1 on a little sweep for their slot back there. So again, it's important to key on him. He's a big, strong, physical runner for a quarterback. So you really have to, you got to hit him. He takes the hits very well. You got to hit him and bring him down. So again, the successful first series of downs for Tewksbury, running the ball 3 consecutive times. Now they're going to go back to this stack formation here.
Arbogast behind Fleming. Actually, 3 running backs behind Fleming. Hand off to Arbogast. Then he's going to be hit at the line of scrimmage. Good tackle there.
There's that LeBlanc, yeah.
Yeah, Peter LeBlanc came up from the linebacker position, was able to get in, hit him at the line of scrimmage, actually knocked him for a loss of a yard. He was finished off by Johnny Rind after the initial hit.
That's what you're going to need. You're going to need linebackers to fill those gaps and make those tackles. It's important. That's where we talk about tackling. That's very important because that was a loss of 1 on a play that they had successfully run with the quarterback, but he did hand that ball up. And LeBlanc, Rind, Mizuraka are going to have to play really big. It looks like he's bringing Erickson up a little bit as well from his corner position far right. So as they're stacked in like this, the cornerbacks are really going to have to make smart plays.
Dorigo and Arbogast behind Fleming. Hand off, back to pass, pressure's on. Peter LeBlanc has him in the backfield. Pressure continues on. He's being chased by several Wildcats.
Good tackle.
And once again, he's brought down for a loss of a few yards. Peter LeBlanc got him finally in the 40-yard line, but he was chased through the backfield by, I think, Rooney, a couple other Wildcat tacklers. A good pursuit.
Yeah, initial pursuit there by Luke Murphy, too, forced the quarterback to try to have to face the run. There's what we talk about. He's a good physical runner, but they lost yardage on that play, so they made the tackle. Force them inside. Don't let them get the edge or get somebody open deep. Here's a big play here in the series of downs here, first quarter for the Cat defense. They had a little bit of trouble against Foxborough, stopping the 3rd and long. And I'm sure Tewksbury's watched tape of that. They understand what can happen. They'll go trips here to our right.
Fleming alone in the backfield. Man in motion now is Dorigo back toward the center of the line. Pressure's on by the Wildcats. Back to the left side, wide open.
We're getting a flag here.
Complete.
Late hit.
Down the sideline, inside the 10, down and into just outside the end zone. Knocked out of bounds at about the 2-yard line.
They're going to get Johnny Ryan for a late hit on the quarterback as he threw that screenplay. That was set up perfectly, and Cats really got sucked in. Nobody read that right away. Their defense got sucked in. That's going to be a late hit.
Isaiah Pena, number 44 for the Redmen, and the reception and long run.
It's probably half the distance to the goal, so they'll take a step forward.
That was about a 38-yard pass.
So again, it's the same thing happened last game against Foxborough. They sort of ran into trouble in that 3rd and long, and Johnny Ryan came in untouched and didn't read that the back had slid out to the left. He did hit the quarterback late, got called for that foul that moves him, didn't really advance the ball much because it's 1st and goal here.
1st and goal, and all the Redmen are in tight. Probably going to be just a crash right into the middle of the line. Fleming keeps it. Quarterback sneak, and it looks like he's in for the end zone for the touchdown.
So the big play comes back to haunt the Cats there on the little screen pass to the fullback on the left side, who rumbled all the way down for about 42 yards to the 2. The personal foul penalty gives them the 1 yard, and then the quarterback Fleming goes in for the touchdown, extra point.
LeGrand, number 89 for the Redmen, in for the the extra point. The ball is down, it's blocked, so the Wildcats at least are able to prevent the extra point with 5 minutes to go in the first quarter this morning. Thanksgiving Day 2021. Tewksbury 6, Wildcats 0.
Chris, the positive there was a block the kick, where both guys on the edge, which was LeBlanc and it looked like Johnny Germano, got penetration a little bit slow. The snap was high. They got the block to keep it to 6-0. The bad news on that was the 43-yard screen pass where nobody recognized that kid. The receiver for Tewksbury had slid out to the left wide open, and the quarterback made a great play, great read. He brought everybody right. Wait till everybody slid and just stuck that over, and there was nobody out there to D him. And then he took a hit. And he stood there. Like I said, he's a tough little quarterback, and you know he can take the hits, and he makes a good read, a good call, really good call by Coach Alward there to get that touchdown.
Brian Elwood has been making calls against opponents' defenses for, well, since he took over for his dad many years ago here at Tewksbury High School, and there's always some entertaining plays to be aware of. If you fall asleep, you're cooked. So Legrand once again tees the ball up at the 40. It's like Pedro on the far sideline. Lawler on the near sideline. This one is taken by Pedro at the 22, out to the 30.
There he goes.
Running from up
Here
the
he
middle.
goes.
He's got speed to the 50, to the 40. One man to get him, to the 20, to the 10, and a touchdown, John Germano.
Just what the doctor ordered for the Cats. Opening kickoff taken from about the 30, 25-yard line. Looks like 65 yards. Uses his speed. We did what we talked about all year long, Chris. He took it north-south, right into the gap, toughness of the defense. Touchdown, great play, great comeback for the Cats. Now he's got to get a breather so he can kick this extra point. You couldn't draw it up any better than that for the Cats.
You couldn't, except for stopping the original touchdown, maybe. So.
Yeah, somewhere between the 22 and the 25. So let's go with 68 yards for my math, if I'm correct.
I'd call that 78 yards, am I right? From the 22,
yes.
Yeah.
My math is that, remember, it's the Pennsylvania math, doesn't always work, especially on Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Pedro holds for John. Snap, ball up, and the kick is good. So for the 10 seconds have passed since the last time check, 4:50 to go in the first quarter today, and the Wildcats have now jumped out to a 7-6 lead on a dynamic touchdown kickoff return by John Germano. 78 yards.
Like I said, you couldn't draw it up any better than that. Got to give a lot of credit to Germano. He actually, he almost went through that untouched all the way. And he had one guy chasing him, and with his speed, he beat him. And he made one quick little move about the 20 to get to cut the angle off for the defender for Tewksbury. Lost his angle about the 20, and then it was just a classic foot race, to the end zone for the touchdown. Again, Cats with, if you really believe in some kind of momentum, Cats now have some momentum. This kickoff is going to be extremely important. But again, the senior steps up. The Germano, Johnny Germano is almost all year when we needed something big, whether it's a kicker, defensive play, or offensive play, a pass from his brother. He's done a great job.
So John will kick off on the far sideline for Tewksbury. Number 9, the quarterback, Danny Fleming. And on their side, number 24, Alex Arbogast. And here comes John. He puts his foot into the ball. It's a hooch kick down to the 20-yard line. Fielded at the 21. And runner's still going. Several hits on the receiver. The ball was taken by number 1, Nick Tracy, who fielded the ball on the sideline, brought it back about 8 or 9 yards.
As much as that play sometimes aggravates you with a little pooch kick, it seems that the last 3 or 4 weeks has really worked to the Cats' advantage. They got a turnover in one of the playoff games. They confused a lot of the Foxborough returners as well. That was a really nice play by the returner. He almost went down. Again, the emphasis here for Wilmington defensive, they have to tackle. You can't just hit, you got to tackle. So you got to wrap and tackle. If you don't do that, this team will run all over you.
Single running back behind Fleming. Now Cole Kimtis lines up in the backfield. He's an offensive lineman that also plays some offensive guard position.
Stick, good tackle.
Off a left tackle. Is it Dempsey Murphy?
It looked like it was 53 made the tackle. Yeah, 53.
Dempsey Murphy on the tackle for the Wildcats for a gain of almost 4 yards.
Look at it, he wrapped him up. He didn't let him go. Again, you're dealing with a big, strong quarterback. You got to wrap him up and take him down. Don't let him get his legs churning and just bump him, because he's just going to bounce off you. And like I said, when you have a little bit of size disadvantage, it's important. You got to do the fundamentals correct. And you know, except for, like I said, except for one play for Wilmington and one play for Tewksbury, both teams have really done the fundamentals correct. But 2 big plays have really turned this game.
Good to see Alfonso Gambale back in the defensive backfield for the Wildcats. He got banged up here a month or so ago. He's back in action today on Thanksgiving Day. Fleming keeps the ball himself up the middle, finds big running room, and he's going to be brought down on a good tackle by Gambale out at the 48-yard line. Stopped the touchdown. He was the last measure of defense for the Wildcats.
That play sort of confused the defense of the Cats there. He made a good job reading where he wanted to go, and he was untouched until Gambale made, like you said, a touchdown-saving tackle. They're going to really have to try to figure out a way to contain him. He is their dynamic offensive player, you know, whether it's running or passing. So again, Cats have got to really focus on, do not let Fleming beat you, and he has done a good job. Like I said, Wayland will talk to you from last week. He just completely beat Wayland last week, so let's not let him beat us this week.
He even makes something out of a blown play. Dorigo runs out to the right, pitches back to Arbogast around the left end. He's going to be hit at the line of scrimmage, gain of 2 yards, knocked out of bounds at the 45.
It looks like Rooney knocked him out, number 9.
Rooney, Mizuraka over there on the sideline as well. And it looks like Johnny Ryan was able to polish him off and push him out of bounds. So 2nd and 8 for the Wildcat, for the Redmond, their own 45-yard line.
Redmond have shown they can move the ball on the ground, so you wouldn't be shocked to see him just run clock, keep driving the ball at the Cats. Again, there seems, I'd have to say, just from viewing this, not looking at weights and heights, it looks like there is a small size advantage for Tewksbury on the offensive side of the ball. Defensively, their defensive line is like monstrous.
So man in motion. Once again, Fleming keeps it, goes up the middle, breaks free of another tackle, and he's out across the first down marker, down to the Wildcat 46-yard line.
Look at the first Cat defender had him, but was trying to strip the ball. And Fleming, again, is big and strong. He's going to beat you, so they're going to have to come up with the solutions here and not let them have their way marching up and down the field offensively.
We covered the game again a couple of weeks ago against Foxborough, which unfortunately we had the video problem, but Gordon, the running back for Foxborough, another behemoth. It was almost unstoppable. He ran for, I think, over 250 yards in that game against the Wildcats. So once again, three backs in the backfield for Tewksbury behind Fleming. Looks like they're just going to power it away. It's Dorigo in motion, pitch back this time to number 3.
Good tackle. Peter LeBlanc, great tackle, filling the hole. Again, really good, Chris, playing there. With Rooney made a great penetration, forced the guy around, and forced him inside, and LeBlanc was right there to make the tackle. Exactly the way you would draw it up defensively. Rooney filling his spot, maintaining the edge, turns above the middle, LeBlanc there to make the tackle. Again, it doesn't seem like, I hate to disparage, smaller running backs for Tewksbury aren't really going to be as impactful as the big back. So it'll be interesting to see how he limits or utilizes the carries his quarterback has versus his other running backs, and when he decides to throw the ball, is he going to throw the screen pass or does he go downfield? So he's got a lot of choice. This is the exact same play setup they had when they ran that little screen. See if they send anybody motion.
Hunter Johnson on the last carry for Tewksbury. It's 2nd and 11. Back to number 7,
Good
Michael
tackle.
Sullivan, who stopped in the backfield for a loss of another 3 yards. Back to midfield.
Marcello Mizuraka with a great play there. He fought off a little bit of a hold, it looked like. Broke off the block and made the tackle. So a big 3rd down again, Chris. We're just about the exact same spot we were last time. About 3 yards difference with a 3rd and 15 or 3rd and 14. So again, big stop here for the Cats if they can make it. Don't want to struggle like we did last time.
So we're down to the last 20 seconds of the first quarter. Don't know if Coach will want to try to push one more play through before the end of the quarter.
Looks like he's going to try to get one off here, Chris.
Okay. One back in the backfield with Fleming. He stands at his own 45, man in motion. Back to pass. He scampers.
He's getting held.
And
oh, Jesus.
It's caught, and it's going to be a touchdown, a long touchdown pass to Michael Sullivan. No flags on the play.
There's flags down here for a hit. Looked like Gambale got hit late. Who knows what they're going to call her, face mask or whatever. Again, you got to be aware that that backside has been killing them, and Erickson got lost a little bit there. He came up a little too quickly as the quarterback was scrambling around. It looked like Yenti got held, but again, I'm a homer up here in the booth, so everything I see looks like a hold. Let's see what they call this. Probably a 15-yard penalty here.
So it'll be a spot foul. It is the end of the first quarter. Holding on the Redmond from the spot of the foul, which I know it's kind of tough to tell up here with the glare of the sun. Looks like the ball penalty might have been around the 11-yard line. So it'll be marked off on the other end of the field as Tewksbury goes into the shadowy side of the field.
Quarter's just, I think the quarter's over, Chris, isn't it? Yeah.
Quarter is over. The ball was reset, and I'm sure they're going to move down to the other sideline. So we'll be going to a quick first quarter break. We'll be back for a second quarter action right after this message.
Hi, welcome to the Wildcat TV Patreon page. Our Wildcat TV Patreon is where you can view all the video content WCTV produces at Wilmington schools. It is where we will post all recent videos as well as special live streams. This is the best place online for you to view videos of the sports, concerts, and events at Wilmington Public Schools. Don't worry, we will continue to broadcast all Wildcat TV content on cable television for cable subscribers to watch. Wildcat TV is brought to you by Wilmington Community Television, your town's nonprofit, independent cable television studio. WCTV has been in Wilmington since the 1980s. We are a resource for any Wilmington resident to learn skills in video production, to create your own show, or capture the local events that matter to you. We strive to cover as many Wilmington events as we can, and in recent years we have produced more programming than ever. Unfortunately, WCTV is facing a serious threat. Year after year, Wilmington residents are cutting the cord to their cable television providers in favor of streaming over-the-top services like Netflix, Paramount+, Disney+, and Hulu. Our funding comes directly from Comcast and Verizon, based on the number of cable subscribers we have in town. To put it simply, we can no longer afford to give away video content online. WCTV wants to continue bringing you the concerts, athletics, and academic content you have come to expect. Whether you join the Patreon for just a month to view a special program or choose to support us year-round, we are grateful for your support. Thank you, and go Wildcats!
Okay, so a big penalty against Tewksbury here as they had facing 3rd and long at midfield. They come up with a big, actually a touchdown that was called back at the 12-yard line. So actually it looks like the ball has come back to the 29-yard line now with Redmond will have a first down and 10 to go as we get ready to start the second quarter. Wildcats are up 7-6. We want to take a moment to acknowledge the Wilmington Pop Warner U2-10 team will be playing this coming Saturday in the New England Championship game in Connecticut. Want to congratulate those guys on an amazing season and good luck this Saturday. Go Wildcats.
All right, Chris, coming back, second quarter for the Cats here, still at a 7-6 advantage. They got to really eliminate that big play, especially 3rd and long. For those of you watching us live on Tewksbury and Wilmington Cable Public Access TV, welcome. For those of you watching us on Patreon, excuse me, welcome. I think one might be my family watching us live there as they're cooking turkey dinner. I just got a text from my daughter telling me I'm talking too fast. So that's what happens when you get excited. You have kids calling your game for you. So if you are watching us live on Patreon, welcome. If you're watching us live on TV in Wilmington, welcome. I'm going to give it back to Chris for the beginning of the second quarter.
DaVinci Sidney, big number 77, centering the ball for the Redmen. Danny Fleming in the shotgun position. He's got 2 running backs behind the right tackle and the right guard. Keeps the ball, good pressure, but he breaks free again. He broke through 3 tackles before he was finally taken down after a gain of 4.
I'll tell you, Chris, he's everything as advertised. The advertisement in the paper the other week was, this kid is tough to take down. He's a tough kid. He likes to get hit. Once he gets hit, he's picking up all extra yards. Cats are really going to have to focus on tackling him. Got to try to take the ball out of his hands. He has done a phenomenal job here, both running and then passing as well. He's made 2 big pass plays, and he's run the ball really well. But again, that was a short yardage situation where they picked up about 3 or 4 yards, gives them a really easy 2nd and 3rd down. I'm sure it's 4-down territory for Coach Howard.
So once again, opposite 2 players, running backs behind the left side of the line. Once again, he finds big running room, busts right over the Wilmington tackler. He's into the end zone for a touchdown. Alfonso Gambale had him in his grasp, and he ran right over Alfonso into the touchdown for a 26-yard touchdown run.
I hate it when the opposing teams make me look like I know what I'm talking about like that. He is completely dominating this game on the offensive side. Wilmington, the Cats defense has no answer for him right now. So they're going to have to think about what they want to do. That way it looked like they blitzed a linebacker who it was Jake Churchill. So they let one of our interior linemen slide free, and he just ran right off the left, right over Alfonso Gambano for the touchdown. Gambali, excuse me.
So Tewksbury got to go for a 2-point conversion here. DeRigo alone in the backfield with Fleming. Arbogast goes in motion to the right, sprints to the right, looks downfield, and it's going to be caught. 2-point conversion is good to Michael Sullivan in the end zone. So Tewksbury has now jumped out to a 14-7 lead early in the second quarter.
And again, if you look at it this way, Chris, the Cats' offense in a quarter and a minute has run 3 plays. You know, with the kickoff return for the touchdown, and the first series of downs, and now Tewksbury's had 2 really good sustained long drives with the benefit of 2 long pass plays. So it's going to be vitally important again here for the Wildcat offense to try to pick up some first downs and grind some clock and keep this dynamic Tewksbury offense off the field. Let's see if Coach Turner tries to open it up a little bit too.
It's fun to play defense when you are playing well on defense, but the offense is always nice to know where the ball is going to go, and you can push the defenders around a little bit. So it's Wildcats will have their hands full today. Again, both teams come in with winning records this year, very successful in their own conferences.
Yeah, Tewksbury just ran in a little of a speed bump in the first round of the playoffs against Bedford, who upset them. Not sure what happened. We were down in Middleborough for that game, and when the Cats won. So, I mean, looks like he's going to tee this up a little bit differently, trying to shoot it straight at somebody.
On its side, yeah. Cody Legrand. It's a hooch kick, and it's going to go out of bounds at the 37-yard line. So there'll be a penalty on the play.
So again, Cats are going to get good starting field position here. I understand what he's trying to do there. I don't think that's what the coach wanted, how he wanted it executed. So again, you can try to do anything you want. If you don't execute, this is what happens. They get a penalty. Cats are going to get really good field position again to start this drive. So 2 drives in a row, 2 really good spots for field, 2 really good places in the field. Excuse me. And again, let's see what he can do. See if he trusts Germano here to Pedro to make decisions and try to open this game up a little bit.
5 extra yards on the penalty, so the Wildcats will have first down at their own 43-yard line. And Jake Chiricello comes out at center, split wide to the right is John Germano. It's like Lawler in the backfield with Mizuraka. Handoff to Lawler. Gain of about 4 yards, just over the 45 to the 46-yard line.
Looks like coach looks like he's setting these guys up for something. If you watch how we shift offensively, he shifted both Seven and Erickson coming towards us, and now he's taking out Luke Murphy, number 7, or a tight end. He's put in Tommy Mallison, a wide receiver. So now let's see if he opens up, shifts movement to try to get the defense a little bit confused. They try to throw the ball here.
So Erickson split wide by himself on the far right sideline. Germano. Pedro sprints out to Mizuraka, finds running room around right tackle. He's grabbed inside the 50, fights his way forward to about the 47, 48-yard line. I think he's going to be just shy of a first down.
Yeah, just shy. Got grabbed around the neck there and brought down by the defensive player for Tewksbury. That play was really well set up again. Tewksbury doubled Erickson out here, which doesn't shock me. Gavin's had a great last 4 or 5 games for the Cats on the offensive side. So they doubled him over here, which opened up the little option play. So Pedro made the right choice. He pitched it out to Mizuraka. Mizuraka picked up about 7 or 8 yards. So you have 3rd and short, so two downs to get 1 yard.
They've only got about 6 inches to go. Luke Murphy came back
in.
They're
going to give him a first
position.
Down.
Oh, okay.
They just switched it up. Sorry, Chris.
That works better for the Wildcats. I don't know if the Wildcats knew that was going to happen. So anyway, Pedro behind center. And I think Lawler is alone in the backfield now. Mizuraka on the left wing. Handoff up the middle to Lawler. He breaks free. Only gets about 1.5 yards on the run. Fleming comes up on the tackle from behind, and let's see. Looks like
He must have read that hole wrong, because he was going straight at the linebacker, and instead of challenging the linebacker, he went, again, I hate going east-west, but he went sideways and only picked up the yard. If you go straight forward there, at least you get the extra yard. And again, Cats have to really be understand how big this defensive front is, and the challenge they have when they go and run the ball off the inside the tackles.
Co-captain Nick Wilson made the first hit for the Redmen on the defensive side of the ball. Pedro calls signals. Back to pass, looks downfield.
He's
the
got
ball
it
is open. Erickson open. He's got it for a touchdown. 46-yard touchdown pass. Pedro Germano to Gavin Erickson.
Okay, I just said Gavin's had a great last 5 weeks. They doubled him up on the last third down or second down. This time they had single coverage out there on the left, and Pedro saw him. He just beat his man. He just absolutely positively beat that cornerback. Pedro laid it right in stride. Touchdown, Cats. Just the way you draw that one up as well.
Yeah, you can see the play develop here from up here in the booth. Gavin had about 5 yards on the nearest defender, and Pedro laid the ball right into him.
Again, he has played extremely well the last couple weeks. They've really utilized his speed and his size. I'd like to see that tie the game up here if we make the extra point.
John steps into it. The ball is up, and the ball is good. So with 8:51 to go in the first half of today's game, Wildcats have tied the game up. Wildcats 14, Redmond 14. Once again, welcome on today's live broadcast on Wilmington Community Television.
We got ourselves a ball game here. 8 minutes, 51 seconds left to play here in the first half, Chris. This is exactly what
I think it's what we expected, Jim.
we expected. A wide open game, and I'm surprised that early on Coach Turner went with trying to jam the ball up the middle. But again, it might be just to set up his next series of plays. And he's done a really good job. And when he opens up the offense and he lets Pedro make those good choices, I think good things happen. But again, if I go back to the third down play on the first drive where Pedro got sacked, Pedro again they blitzed both outside linebackers, and it wreaked havoc on our offense. But again, we're in a game here. It's nothing. All you want to ask for: nice crowd, beautiful day, get people hungry, people home cooking their turkeys, watching us either on television or on the Patreon channel.
Just a good opportunity to make a mention again that we're looking for volunteers at Wilmington Community Television to televise some of the games. We'll be starting our basketball coverage in about 2.5 weeks for the home girls and boys home opener. John steps in to the ball, another hooch kick. It's going to come down, going to bounce at the 26-yard line, and the ball carrier is brought down on a nice tackle by John Rind. Couldn't see who fielded the ball down there, but Johnny Ryan got in to make sure it didn't go anywhere. So Tewksbury's going to take over inside their own 30 at about the 28, 29-yard line.
Let's see how long it takes Coach Alward to adjust to that kickoff. I mean, it's 2 times they've done it. I do remember, like I said, last week when they played Foxborough, it took Foxborough about a half to figure out what was going on, and he finally put more of his hands guys shorter so they could catch it. And then a lot of times you'll see teams fair catch that as well. So good kickoff. Now we got to see if we can time to make a stop.
First and 10. Man in motion. DeRigo. Pitch back to Arbogast. Wildcats had it smelled out, but he was able to push up over right tackle for about 7 or 8 yards across the 35-yard line.
Good quick move by Arbogast there to get outside space. I mean, again, there's where you want your defensive end to maintain the edge and force him in. He got out. You don't want him to get outside the edge and have open space. A big 8-yard run. Cats have not really shown the ability to stop Tewksbury yet. They've had them pinned back with 2 third longs, but those third longs have turned into major plays.
So 2nd and 2. John Spencer in the middle of the defensive line for the Wildcats now. Fleming runs right up the middle. He runs into his own blocker, but he does get enough for the first down across the 40-yard line out to the 42.
Again, Tewksbury's willing to use their strength and their size to just grind out offense. but when they need it, they have come up with big plays. So it's sort of like they've come to a really nice balance here in the first half. You know, run it, pound it, and then finally open up the offense a little bit, get those 2 big plays that really led to their touchdowns.
Okay, I guess the coach is counted now with a 5-man defensive line. Dempsey Murphy in the middle and John Spencer, the defensive inside right tackle. Jack Rooney comes in from the side. Reverse play. The Wildcats have blown that up. Nice play. Well read by the Wildcats. Rooney, Mizuraka, and
Johnny
Rind in on the tackle.
He brought both linebackers, read that very well. So Rooney being a defensive end, but Mizuraka and Rind read that really well. Filled their gap, no gain. Good read. Very good read for the 2 linebackers there.
So it brings up 2nd and about 14 for the Redmen. We've been in this position already today a couple of times to our disadvantage, but let's see if this works out for the Wildcats. I think the coach might have come up with something with a 5-man defensive line that might make some kind of a difference on the running ability of Danny Fleming. Fleming alone in the backfield. Keeps it right up the middle. Finds stop for a gain of about 1 yard or 2. Like Johnny Rind and Dempsey Murphy again. Dempsey Murphy on the tackle, number 53.
I've heard his name called a lot tonight, a couple times now. Really good play there, 3rd and long. Sorry, Chris, didn't mean to step on you.
Oh, it's the Irishman. Luke Murphy, Dempsey Murphy. I mean, these guys here, they're tough as nails, Jim.
That's what we like to see. But again, that's what you need. I think the adjustment made to go to 3 defensive backs and bring 3 linebackers and go like a 5-3. It's really worked. He really counts on his linebackers to make good reads. This is a real big play here for the Cats, 3rd and long.
3rd and 11. Michael Sullivan splits wide to the right, number 7 for the Redmen, covered by John Germano. Back to pass, looks downfield. It is caught out of bounds, actually incomplete, out of bounds. The Wildcats may have held him here, Jim.
Looks like it did. Let's see if Alward decides to punt here, which I wouldn't doubt he would. Again, John Germano had good coverage on him. That was a really nice thrown ball, though. Fleming threw a nice ball. Just the only person or only way that was going to be caught in bounds was by his player. And he sort of used Germano used the sidelines as a second defender, and the ball was a little bit wide. But again, really nice offensive play call, good throw, but even better defense for the Cats.
Mike Sullivan in to punt the ball away for Tewksbury. The ball is at the Tewksbury 41-yard line, 4th down and 11. Gavin Erickson and John Germano were back deep for the Wildcats.
Again, want to catch it. Important to catch
High
it.
snap. Sullivan gets it, gets the ball away. It's not a long kick. Comes down. Picked by Erickson out to the... Well, what do we got here now?
Germano called a fair catch and Erickson caught it.
Okay.
So that's what we got there. A little miscommunication for the Cats, but again, the important part of that play is they caught the ball, didn't hit the ground and produce negative yardage. And you didn't turn it over either. Again, nobody's turned it over yet in this ball game. Knock on wood that I'm jinxing the Cats right now. But again, another good opportunity for them. They're at the 35-yard line. A good opportunity to move forward. They got 5:40 to play here first half.
Okay, so the Wildcats have it at the 35-yard line. Pedro talks to the Coach Turner. See if they can drum up something in the 5 minutes and 40 seconds before the halftime.
Really good, exciting first half here, Chris.
Chiricello brings the Cats out to the line of scrimmage. Erickson in the backfield. Mizuraka in the backfield.
Allison's in the slot right here. The big,
back
big,
to
tall
pass.
receiver.
Pedro looks. He scrambles.
He's got him open. He's got Mizuraka open. It's far enough.
And it's caught. Nice catch by Marcello Mizuraka at the 32-yard line. Good coverage by the defensive backfield, but Marcello was able to pick it out of the air for a big first down for the Wildcats.
Pedro made a little bit of a lucky break there. He threw it into double coverage floater, but Marcello Mizuraka with a phenomenal catch there for the Cats. Push them all the way downfield. Again, if you spread this team out, I don't know how good their secondary is. They got a great front four. Probably pretty good solid linebackers, but now we're going to make them work. He had a couple players open there. He had Mallinson 8 in the slot as well, and Mallinson snuck open here wide. He was open here right beneath us as well. So again,
ball's down at the 24-yard line of Tewksbury. The Wildcats are on a drive. 5 minutes to go in the first half. Tewksbury comes with the blitz. Pedro finds some running room up the middle, and he scampers for a gain of about 4 yards. 3 yards out to the 21-yard line.
So we're going back to the Vince Lombardi 3 yards in a cloud of dust kind of thing here, which isn't bad. You got to. You're looking at 4 down territory anyway here.
Looks like there was a little bit of running room as the tackle spot, tackle and guard opened up. It was closed quickly by the defenders on the Tewksbury side. So second and just a little over 4 yards. It's pretty close to the 20-yard line.
See where they line up Erickson. If he
second and 6. Sorry.
Erickson's over on the left side. He's got single coverage. Let's see if they go there. Or they come over here to the right to his brother.
Pedro keeps the ball, looks out.
Throw it.
Got to get rid of it. He still finds a way to scramble. Man is open. Caught by Murphy. Oh, he dropped it. Incomplete pass.
Yeah, good call. The back officials got the incomplete pass.
It would have been just shy of a first down. Actually, it would have been a first down, but he was able to hold on to it. I don't know how Pedro gets out of some of those spots. He had like 4 or 5 Tewksbury defenders on him in the backfield, and he's able to wiggle his way out.
It's good sometimes to be small. You're not the big, burly back that you might be. He does a really good job in juking those bigger defensive linemen out. Good read, good call. Luke Murphy got hit right after he caught that ball, knocked that ball loose. Again, I think it's still 2 down territory. But let's see if they double Erickson over on the left side. The 23 for Tewksbury has been, he's over there. He was the one who they beat last time. And again, Erickson's probably got about 3 or 4 inches on him as he is shorter.
That's Justin Dorigo, 23, but he's over there consulting.
They brought him out here.
Colby Flahive. So
they're doubling Erickson here close underneath the safety.
Lawler goes in motion. Pedro finds running room up the middle, and he's over the 10-yard line for first down.
Great call there. They had doubled up with the safeties on both wideouts, which meant there's nobody eyeing Pedro. Pedro was the only man, one of the men unguarded, we'll call it, not defended. He made the right read. He had the little gap once you get off tackle to get the first down. Again, you're going to force Tewksbury to make a decision there. If they're going to double Erickson and what was probably his brother out there, Johnny Germano, he then has the ability to, if he sees the field, to either run the football or throw to the open receiver. But this is what will happen when you have the good receiver like Erickson and his brother Johnny out there. They really think about they want to double him up, and Wilmington really took advantage of that.
So Mallinson and John Germano split wide to the left. Lawler's going to be in the slot. Erickson by himself on the right side. Mizuraka to the right of Pedro. First down and goal for the Wildcats. Pedro keeps it again, finds running room up the middle, and he's into the end zone for a touchdown. Pedro Germano, 8-yard touchdown run for the Wildcats, puts the Wildcats back up.
Tewksbury looked a bit lost there on defense, Chris. Pedro had they had run that option with Mizuraka earlier in the game, and somebody must have just spied him and stayed with him and left Pedro open to make a good call. So. Okay, so there with Pedro, did a good job again reading the opening and again leaving the decision making in his hands. Senior with a lot of experience has really worked out well for the Cats.
So John Germano in to attempt his 3rd extra point of the game. And the kick is no good. Looks like somebody got a hand on it, or it was a muffed kick. So with 3:04 to go in the first half of today's game, Wilmington has jumped out to a 20-14 lead over the Redmen.
It's been a while since the Cats have had a lead this close to halftime against Tewksbury, and on this longer losing streak that we've had in this Thanksgiving Day rivalry. You can't hang your head there on that missed kick. You got to just come out and play defense with the understanding that Tewksbury will get the second half kickoff.
It's been a game of big play so far for the Wildcats, between John Germano's kickoff return and then the big touchdown pass from Pedro to Gavin Erickson down in the second quarter, and now the most recent just pass to Mizuraka leading up to the 8-yard touchdown run for Pedro Germano. So it's been, as we said a few minutes ago, an entertaining game so far. But the game's not over.
Want to keep it as entertaining as we can. I can't compliment the weather anymore any better. I'm sitting up here in this booth in Thanksgiving, and it's hot up here. But it's beautiful weather, a great crowd. Tewksbury's got people. We got people around the end zone, people here in the stands. They've done a really good job with crowd control as well, to not let anybody on the track. So there's not people wandering in and out and wreaking havoc on our cheerleaders. And the Tewksbury crowd is sits over there on their sideline doing a pretty good job as well.
Okay, Arbogast and Fleming back. Another hooch kick. Comes down to number 13 for the Redmen, Blake Ryder, who was going to be stopped just shy of the 40-yard line. He grabbed it about 5-yard return. Brought it down at the 38-yard line.
A little bit of an adjustment there for Tewksbury. Make sure he caught the ball. He's got his hands people in there. Catch the ball. Instead of being back on the 26-yard line, now they start here on the 43. So that little pooch kick giveth and that little pooch kick taketh away, and that time it took it away. Gives them a little bit shorter field. They got 2:58 to play. Plenty of time for them. I don't think they've used one of their timeouts yet. So again, time for the Wilmington defense with a 6-point lead to try to step it up here and put a stop to this Tewksbury drive.
Once again, Coach Turner comes out with a 5-man defensive front to try to figure out what to do with Danny Fleming at quarterback. One man in the backfield is Arbogast. Fleming long count, sprints to the right, looks for running room, and he's going to be brought down. Nice tackle. He gains about 5 yards, but Marcello Mizuraka took him down after a gain of about 5.
Yeah, Coach has gotten really good play out of Spencer and Dempsey Murphy, John Spencer and Dempsey Murphy, who have really done a good job as he went to this 5-man line of filling their gaps and holding, at least winning their battles on line of scrimmage, which is forcing the Tewksbury quarterback to make a little bit different decision here. So this is going to be a clock issue now. See if the Cats can stop them, keep them. If they're going to run, keep it short.
So you got 2 wide receivers split out. Arbogast, I think, is on the far left. Back to pass, looks downfield, throws it long and deep. Man is open, and it's overthrown. Intended for Brian Sullivan. Michael Sullivan, number 7. John Germano on the coverage.
He had him open, Chris. Just overthrew that ball. Again, going man-to-man on both sides. That's Pedro and, John Germano and Gavin Erickson are all alone on the island here, man-to-man, with just one safety back there as well. So he's just got to guard the middle of the field. He's got to spy the quarterback. So the Cats, like I said, are going with an 8-man front, 5-3, really counting on your 2 corners to make plays. It's tough.
So it brings up a big 3rd down play, 3rd and 5 for Tewksbury at their own 43-yard line. Dorigo sprints out to the right, passes across the middle. It's going to be complete for 1st down. That was Blake Ryder on the reception. He fights his way out to the 49-yard line of Tewksbury, so that's enough for the 1st down.
It moves the sticks, but it takes the clock run. They'll stop the clock for the 1st down and rerun it. So again, you're going to throw the ball over the middle like that and pick up 3 or 4 yards. I know they wanted to get 1st down, so they get a new series of downs, but that's going to need about 30 seconds of clock, and it picks you 5 yards. Like it does get you the 1st down, but you're still in the Tewksbury side of the field.
Isaiah Pena, number 44, who caught the early big pass for Tewksbury, is back at the tight end position on the right side. Full house backfield for Tewksbury. A lot of help back there with Fleming. Sprint to the left. Big running room around the corner. Tackle down the sideline. Justin Dorigo. Alex Arbogast in for the touchdown. 49 yards. No flags on the play.
Wilmington again gets caught
51.
because they're using that. They're 5-3. The defensive end here on the right side has to push that play in. Don't let him get outside leverage. He got outside leverage, and the safety for the Cats just a bad angle, and then just couldn't cut the angle with the speed. So not what you want to see at the end of the half, especially with them getting the ball to start the half.
So 1:20 to go in the 1st half. Not exactly, but it continues the pattern of big plays on both sides of the ball this morning. Tewksbury comes in to attempt the extra point, I believe, 1:20, and it's 20-20. Looks like Tewksbury may go for 2 points here.
Yeah, why wouldn't they go for 2? They've been dominating this line of scrimmage. So
Arbogast, the only back in the backfield next to Fleming. Wildcat shift on defense. Fleming keeps it, passes, and it's going to be caught. Blake Ryder again on the 2-point conversion puts Tewksbury up 22-20.
Interesting, well-designed play, but Johnny Germano had a chance to knock that away, just up over the fingertips of Germano there for the extra point conversion. So the Cats now will trail 2. They'll get the ball, have a minute 20 to play. Might as well spread it out and try to score. All right, this looks like we're gonna have a offensive juggernaut kind of game. So I don't know what the over/under was going into today, but we're at 42 here at halftime. So it's
Ryder's got a few inches, I think, on John Germano when he was able to take it at his fingertips. A nice soft pass, nice soft touch over the line of scrimmage from Fleming.
Yeah, and I think Germano played that extremely well. It just got up over top of him. Really good design play, but again, just because they're taking advantage of the shorter defensive back, who just flips up over over John, he just can't reach and get it. Again, important here. The only thing you can't have happen here is what, Chris? You can't turn the ball over.
Can't turn the ball over with 1:20 to go in the first half.
B.
Yeah, there's a bee flying around the booth here. That's here it is, the end of November, and it's a beautiful day, as we've commented. LeGrand steps into the ball. This is an end over end taken by John Germano.
Right up the middle.
And he's going to be stopped at the 35-yard line.
Yeah, the initial hit just spun him around. He could not regain his footing. So, again, coach has a minute 14 left. You might as well spread out and see if their cornerbacks can make some plays. Again, it's important to it's one of the good things you having a senior quarterback like Pedro Germano here. You really can trust what he's going to do. It's a great feeling for a coach to go out there and say, let's spread the field. Let's see if we can get some points on the board before the half, no matter where we are or where we sit on the field. You know, and he is going to spread it and just trust his quarterback.
Erickson and Lawler to the right. Germano and I think Mallinson or Murphy on the near side. Pedro lets the ball go long and deep to his brother John. Just overthrown. He stopped just as the ball was getting to him. He might have lost sight of it.
Right. No, the son would have been behind him. He beat the defensive back, though. I'm surprised that Tewksbury doesn't double up. Both he and Erickson, they might have done that with a safety deep. So let's see what they set up with here, Chris. 1:09 left to play in the quarter. You really want to, here I'd love to see that little slant pass he throws to Erickson, cutting across the middle, use his size, keep in bounds, get the first down, let the clock run because you don't want to turn the ball over and have to punt it and give Tewksbury another shot at a big play. So see how he sets this up.
2nd and 10 just inside, actually at their own 34-yard line.
He's probably going to.
Lawler and Germano right. Mizuraka comes out, handoff to Erickson, but that didn't quite work the way they expected, I don't think.
So let's see if Tewksbury calls timeout. No, he won't. So now you just run clock here until he's not going to call timeout. There's no sense. This play shouldn't even. You couldn't even run this play. 51 seconds left in the half.
Okay, so we're going to go to the Doobie spot first at the halftime before we come back. Jim, in your halftime, you got to recap the last part of the second half because I just got us back on.
Okay.
Just got word here that we lost our live feed temporarily from Wilmington High School. So if you've missed some action, the Wildcats have scored, the Redmen have scored. It's 22-20 Redmen. You'll be able to see it on replay. Wildcats have it first down. And Pedro is brought down for a loss, actually for no gain at the 31-yard line as the clock ticks down in the first half.
And they'll call a late timeout with 6 seconds left here. To be honest with you, you just take this kick and just stand back there and let the clock run out and take a knee. Don't even let them return it. So see if they have that play in their bucket. I'm assuming the 6 is we have this official up here in the booth, so 6 is the right time unless they decide to change it. So again, Wilmington, 6 seconds, even if you punt it out of bounds, you just do not want a long return. Don't want to give them an opportunity to throw a long pass or anything here. So the punter can just, unless they rush the punt, you can just sit back and once as they take up the 6 seconds. That's, again, it's easy for me sitting up here in the booth to make that statement, but it's tough for the high school player to comprehend what might happen, and also the coach trying to do what's right. Again, I would almost run a play here and throw it deep. Go throw an interception, if you get it, it's going to take the 6 seconds up.
If you were away from us during the short time we were off the air, Pedro Germano threw a long 30-plus pass to Marcello Mizuraka about 10 minutes ago. And that was followed up with an 8-yard touchdown run by Pedro, and then Tewksbury has returned it 51 yards on a touchdown run by Alex Arbogast. Wildcats in
kick it.
punt formation. They kick it away.
Good
A
idea.
nice kick.
That'll end again on the half.
And that will end the first half. Good punt by Pedro. It's down in the backfield for the by John Germano. And at halftime today, it is Tewksbury 22, Wilmington 20. We'll be back for the halftime festivities of today's game, and this message from Bill Doobie Hyundai after this.
This WCTV sports presentation is brought to you by...
If you haven't visited us recently, we've made some changes we think you'll like. Introducing the Doobie Difference. We now offer upfront pricing, 3-day worry-free exchange. Non-commissioned salespeople get paid to make you a happy customer. That's the Doobie Difference. Online at BillDoobieHyundai.com.
Okay, we're ready for halftime action from the Wilmington High School Marching Band here in this beautiful Thanksgiving morning. Okay.
All right.
Don't Stop by Fleetwood Mac. It was played with Closing Queen by ABBA. Two drum majors, Joseph Diamond and Jeremiah Lacey, the junior drum major, Tina Lipton. Welcome to the Wilmington High School Wildcat Marching Band.
turn you off. I can't listen to you all day.
It's halftime at Wilmington High School's Alumni
Can you hear me?
Field, Thanksgiving Day 2021. Tewksbury 22, the Wildcats 20. A nice performance by the Wilmington High School marching band. It's halftime here at Wilmington High School's Alumni Field. Tewksbury up 22-20 at halftime over the Wildcats. We're going to take the ball, take the camera and the microphone down in the field. Jim Boyle's down at the sideline with Jamie Pope from the Town Crier. Take it away.
Welcome back to our live coverage of Wildcat TV of the Tewksbury Redmen versus Wilmington Wildcats. It's 22-20, Tewksbury leading at the half. My guest for the halftime event is Jamie Pope, 28 years with the Town Crier, sports editor. Jamie, what do you think of the first half?
I think it's great. It's been a great battle. It's kind of what I expected. I thought a high-scoring game. And it's great crowd, great weather. This is terrific.
Okay, just a quick recap, and Jamie can fill me in on this. We had we scored two touchdowns after the live out. We had a 30-yard pass from Trail Mizuraka, an 8-yard touchdown run for Pedro Germano, and then Tewksbury came right back like they have done all game.
I lost the audio.
Jamie, what did you think about that sequence of events?
That was pretty interesting. You know, a lot of scores late in the half. Arbogast, when he gets outside, you can't stop him. He's a really big track star, and I kind of thought that going in, that if he got outside, that Wilmington would have problems.
You and I had talked before the game, and we thought it would be a battle of the quarterbacks. Do you still see that as playing out?
Oh, yeah, definitely. And whoever keeps the ball. You can't turn the ball over here in the second half because it looks like whoever's going to get the ball last will probably come out to win.
Okay, now we said you've been at the Town Crier for 28 years, correct? So you started, your first game was what year?
1993.
And what was the most outstanding games you can remember?
98 was, to me, the best game that I've ever seen. And then 96 was also a very good game, Bob Almeida's first year. I think it was 96. Yeah, 96. Those are the two that stand out to me.
We're not going to hold you to the dates and times as we all get older now. We do know Wilmington has not won this game, the Tewksbury game, since 2009. And so what do you think they need in the second half in order to be successful to win this game?
I think they still have to throw the ball a lot more. I think they're going to struggle a little bit running the ball. Tewksbury's defensive line is very, very good and a veteran group. I think Wilmington has to open it up and take advantage of some matchups that they have, you know, with Tewksbury secondary. Gavin Erickson, I think you're going to see a lot of him in the second half.
All right, well, thank you, Jamie, for joining us at halftime. Just want to give a shout out for Jamie. One thing, he's working on a book on the history of Wildcat football, correct? I know it's in progress. It could take feeds, your stuff you get in the paper, stuff you get online. So again, thank you, Jamie, for joining us at this halftime of this 2021 Wildcat Tewksbury Redmond football game. And we will be right back with third quarter action after this.
Great, thank you.
Hulu, Netflix, Peacock, Amazon Prime, Disney Plus, streaming media services change not only people's viewing habits, but also change the dynamics facing WCTV. Content is tailored to specific viewer interests, which, for the viewer, is a good thing. It allows people to cut the cord and eliminate programming they neither watch or need. An unforeseen consequence is that it impacts WCTV in a very challenging and costly way.
WCTV is funded almost entirely by a percentage of cable companies' revenues, based off the amount of cable subscribers we have in Wilmington. In short, less cable subscribers equals less revenue for WCTV. If you utilize any of WCTV's resources by creating your own program or watching local meetings and sports online, and you are not a cable subscriber, there is a way to help. I hope you will consider making a donation so that we can continue delivering these programs and more to you. For those of you who have made a donation, I thank you. We do receive these and we are very appreciative.
Welcome back to second half action here at Wilmington High School on Thanksgiving Day. Tewksbury 22, Wilmington 20 at halftime. Just want to recognize that this is the 50th anniversary of the 1961 Wilmington Wildcats, who went undefeated with a record of 8-0-1. That team is being honored here today. They had many great members, led by quarterback Dickie Allen, the backfield of Frank Monroe, Jack Bowen, Rob O'Leary, and Frank McLaughlin, as well as wide receivers Rick Front and Kevin Field. Both defensive and offensive lines were crucial to the Cats' success on both offense and defense, led by Captain Eddie Woods, Jimmy Gillis, Dan Moglen, Dave Fuller, John Fairfield, and Albie Hall. They fought in the trenches every day on every single play. The final game of that remarkable season against rival Tewksbury for the league championship was played on a snow-covered field that had to be plowed before the game. The Cats were able to come out victorious in that game with an 18-6 win. So we want to take knowledge and recognition of both the players and the coaching staff of that 1961 team. Coaches Fred Bellissimo, John Ritchie, and Dick Cady led the Cats under the field every week and always had the guys prepared, along with the support and long-time help of athletic director Larry Cushing. The 1961 Wildcats were rewarded with a trip to Washington, D.C., where they toured the White House and many other of our country's historic sites. Who knew that? I didn't know that, but congratulations to all of those that are still with us. I knew Jack Bowen personally, formerly over at Shawsheen Tech. Great person, great administrator, great teacher, and a great football player. Back in the day, his numbers retired here at Wilmington High School. So we're almost ready for second half action. Tewksbury will receive the second half kickoff. We want to just remind you one more time that the libraries, Wilmington and Tewksbury, did compete in a little readathon over the last month or so, month and a half. And at least on the library field, Wilmington did come out victorious with 770,000 minutes of reading to Tewksbury's 761,500 minutes. I still think that's a pretty good show for both schools, both towns, so it's a credit to both of them for having a little challenge prior to the Thanksgiving Day football game. My broadcast partner, Jim Boyle, is back up from the sideline. He has climbed all 20 stories.
Yeah, it's like we're at Gillette Stadium here.
Yeah, and his voice is back. Jim, I know you talked with Jamie at halftime, any other observations on first half and what we expect for the second half?
I just think we have the ball game we expected, like Jamie said at halftime. Don't be shocked if we focus more on throwing the ball on the smaller corners for Tewksbury. It's, again, you got to stop the big plays, both sides. Cats have had a couple big plays. and so have Tewksbury. Tewksbury's utilized their size to run the football. But again, no turnovers, very well played game, very few penalties as well. So I look forward to the Cats. Got to play one good set of defense. Missing that extra point did not help either. Just a quick note on the trip to Washington. I know I've said down there, we're talking to Jamie's working on that book about Wilmington football. He's got a really great story from that trip to Washington, what happened. A really good story on that team. So once that book gets published and we do the book launch with Jamie, that story will be out, and it is actually quite hilarious. It's typical of Wilmington people, what they would have done when you go to Washington to visit the president, or visit the White House.
And a quick shout out, if you haven't got your copy of this week's Town Crier yet, I strongly recommend. Jamie and Mike Ippolito did a lot of reporting with a lot of the players here. We're starting the second half. John Germano, a squib kick, and it's taken at the 49-yard line by Logan Oth, number 14 for the Redmen at the 49, puts Tewksbury in good starting position in the second half.
That's your Coach Turner special right there. Start the second half of a Tewksbury game with an onside kick, try to catch them off balance. I mean, remember the first game that I did with you, Chris, the 2017 Thanksgiving Day game. They came out of the half and they onside kicked and were just not successful either. But again, keeping everything off balance. Got to make a stop here. Don't want to go down by 9 or 10.
Dorigo, Arbogast in the backfield with Fleming. Hand off to the second man through Dorigo. Good pressure by the Wildcats. Stops him for about a gain of a half yard. Good pressure by Rooney on that. Number 9 and Marcello Mizaraka, Johnny Rind on the tackle.
Yeah, I think Genty got in the backfield too there, which is good to see. Again, no gain on that play. Now you got to be aware of what he's done here. He's let his quarterback make decisions again here. You know, and the quarterback's done a good job reading it. A little bit quarterback draw. Your 2 interior linebackers, your 3 linebackers have to really read that play well. Good first down defensively for the Cats.
Okay, so we get another 5-man front again for the Wildcats on defense. This time Fleming alone in the backfield. Runs off the center of the line to the right tackle. This time he's brought down. Yep, Genty on the tackle. Mizaraka.
Again, they got them in 3rd and long, so it's a... And again, I'm not sure whether Coach Atwood will go for it, make this a 2-down territory or not with the lead, a 2-point lead. It's tough to turn the ball over here. So big play here to keep them in. Even if they do have success, you want to keep them not to go 4th and short to make that decision a lot easier for the coach.
3rd and 6. Early on in the 3rd quarter here at Wilmington High School's Alumni Field. Fleming sprints to the left. It was covered, but sprints out wide down the sideline, finds good running room, knocked out of bounds at the 32-yard line.
There's a good kick-out block on Rooney on our defensive end. Kicked him out of the way and allowed the quarterback Fleming to turn the corner there. That was a really good offensive line. Rooney got kicked out and opened up a wide gap. Yeah. Again, another big play on 3rd and long.
Once he got blocked, there was nobody else right behind him to try to take up the slack.
Correct.
So, as we pointed out several times today, Fleming is very dangerous from the backfield, makes something out of nothing. So,
good execution too by Tewksbury.
Dorigo 23, and it looks like Nick Wilson in the backfield now, big number 67. Arbogast breaks free at the line of scrimmage. He's good for another 5 yards inside the 30.
Another instance where Johnny Ryan was in the backfield and he broke the tackle. He had him set for a loss, and the good run there for Arbogast by the Tewksbury running back.
Interesting, Brian Elwood keeps on substituting different offensive linemen into the backfield for blocking purposes. He plays mix and match with his offensive line, which is very big and tough and strong. So he's got plenty of selection there to move people around. Led by number 77, big number 77. I got to make sure I get it right. DaVinci Sidney. This time, good tackle, shy of the first down. That was Arbogast on the carry. I think Peter Murphy, Luke Murphy.
Again, they made an adjustment at halftime in how to attack the 5-man front for the Cats. Little off tackle, on tackle. So this is a big 3rd down. Again, I would expect this to be a 2-down territory.
Peter LeBlanc on that last tackle for the Wildcats. Ali Abukul comes into the defensive line for the Wildcats. So big 3rd down. 3rd and about just shy of 3.
Cats definitely need to stop here.
Quarterback keeper. It's going to be close.
As far as line judge, looks like he can come and spot it 1st down. I don't know.
Abukul in on the tackle, and it looks like a first down, just enough.
Yeah, he likes coming under center and running that play. Again, just use that big center and follow him for a couple of yards. It has worked. Again, this drive started short, so they started like at the 48-yard line of Tewksbury's 48-yard line. Short field to drive, and they've eaten up 4 minutes of clock. And they're really going to be content to just keep on pounding the ball. Now watch Coach Alwood make me look like a fool and throw a ball in the end zone. But they're really happy to just keep pounding and pounding and pounding, utilizing his strength, which has been running the football and using his quarterback. Again, really great game for Fleming.
Same 2 running backs. Fleming in the shotgun position. Hand off to Arbogast, finds running room again. This time he's brought down on Pedro Germano. A nice open field tackle by Pedro off the left tackle.
Pedro playing the safety position there, comes up and makes the play. Good play for him. As he is the, like I said, it looks like he's the lone safety. So what they're doing defensively, they got 5-man front, the 3 linebackers. Pedro Germano as your safety, and then John Germano and Erickson are your corners. So again, they're almost pressing.
We've talked about
Tewksbury to throw the football here.
Their offensive prowess all year long, but both boys are solid tacklers on defense as well.
Correct.
Fleming keeps the ball himself, runs up the middle, finds running room, and he's into the touchdown, into the end zone for another touchdown. 21-yard touchdown run for Danny Fleming. Went right up the middle.
Again, a lot of the tackling there is suspect for the Cats. He's run that play very well. They spread it up a little bit, and he finds the hole. And you got to make that initial. Once he breaks through the line of scrimmage, the linebackers and safety have to make tackles there, and they just have not made that. Big kick here. Kick it makes it a 2-score game if he makes this kick.
LeGrand in to attempt it. The ball is up, and the ball is through the uprights. It's good. So with 7:04 to go in the 3rd quarter today, Tewksbury's up 29-20 over the Wildcats, and we'll be resetting the field.
So the last 2 possessions, Tewksbury has scored 8 and 7, 15 points to go from a 20-14 deficit to a 29-20 lead. So now it's important again. You got a lot of time left on the clock. You've been successful at moving the football against this defense. You got to stay within your game. And be patient. Return this kick. Don't let it drop to the ground. And then just count on your offense to keep scoring points. We're down to 2 possession games. At some point, Wilmington is going to need to stop in order to make this keep this game in their favor.
The clouds are taking over a little bit here at the football field, which makes it a lot easier for us to not only see the numbers, but also to tell what's going on. LeGrand is teeing the ball up. Looks like we got a short timeout on the field. Okay, LeGrand's going to tee it up upright at the 40-yard line.
Left-footed kick, is it? Again, got to make the return here. Good catch.
Good catch by Antonio Smolinski. Somehow I've heard that last name before in the football field before.
Give credit to Antonio there. That was a really nice, fine play. By catching that ball, even if it would have gone out of bounds, it would have gone another 10 yards down the field. So again, Same situation we had to start the half. Wilmington with really good field position. They'll start the ball on the 46 of their in their territory, but a shorter field to try to score the touchdown. It's important that they stay with Tewksbury here.
1st and 10. Let's see if they take to the air or they send 4 wide receivers out on the near side. Pedro Germano in the closest to the sideline. He hands it off. He keeps it. Sprints out to the left side. He picks up some running room. Takes on a couple tacklers across midfield, but he's got a good gain of 7 yards.
So Coach throws an RPO in there. Not an RPO. It's just the option play. He's got the option to either run that or hand it off. RPO would be a run pass option, but he wasn't going to pass that. So my mistake there, but a good call. Again, you're making them have to think of where the ball is going to go. And that would be a good chance to get short yardage on 2nd down. Good chance to air it out a little bit here.
Good gain on 1st down for Pedro and for the Wildcats. Erickson and Lawler on the left. Looks downfield, throws the ball long and deep. It's going to be caught
by Germano.
Inside at the 14-yard line.
He was down.
He was down by contact. Dorigo on the coverage over there, brought down at the 14-yard line. So a big long pass play for the Wildcats.
Yeah, the catch was made, and as we went down and hit the ground, the ball came loose. Again, you still don't like to see that, a little bit of protection. But again, that's where they have the single coverage, because they have the double coverage on the side of Erickson. So they understand where Erickson is at all times. If you get single coverage on either Erickson or John Germano, you got to throw the ball to him, and that's what Pedro did that time. Good read, good understanding of what you had in the field. Again, Cats going in here. Important to get points on the board.
Once again, 4 wide receivers split out wide. John was not really open on the play, but the Tewksbury defender, Dorigo.
Oh, he dropped it. Pick it up.
It's dangerous. You think he got it back. He's very fortunate there. He recovered the ball at the 20-yard line. It's going to be a loss of 5.
Yeah, he had Erickson on single coverage over here in the bottom of the screen on his left side. They were going to short side there no matter what. It looks like he was going to the, like I said, short side being the short side of the field, which is your far side there, and he just bobbled the snap, and which puts you in negative yardage. Now, being down 2 scores, if they get into a situation where it's 4th and long, they could attempt a field goal here, which would make it a 1-score game, and then count on your defense. So it'll be good opportunity. He's got 3 plays here to advance the ball. You can get a 1st down without going to the end zone.
Ended up to be a loss of about 7 yards, so the Wildcats have the ball at the 21-yard line. Erickson and Lawler split wide to the left. Mallinson and John on the right. Pedro keeps it, but he's going to be wrapped up by the solid defensive line of the Redmen. Another loss of about 3 yards.
Yeah, that one confuses me a little bit, Chris. He's limping around now too. That one hurt. So let's see if he just go down. Although I don't know who their backup quarterback would be here.
So I think I don't know if Pedro's going to be able to go here.
He is. He's going back. You can have your Tewksbury. You bring the house here. You know he's limping. I wouldn't be surprised. Alward's going to say he's going to bring everyone and go right at him.
It's going to be 3rd and 20 for the Wildcats.
Good chance here to find Mizurek on a little bit of a bump screen. Have him do a middle screen as these linebackers, if he brings everybody. I don't know what he's going to do here, but he's got a lot of people ready to go. If he brings everybody, just slide Mizurek into the middle of the field and dump it down.
5-man rush for Tewksbury. Pedro back to pass. Lets the ball go downfield. Man is open. Mizurek. He's got it at the end zone, and he's at the 1-yard line.
Yeah, just short. Good call. Slid the running back out of the backfield behind the linebackers. Pedro threw it up over top for a completion to Marcello Mizurek. So it'll be it was close to a touchdown.
Inside the 1-yard line.
So again, I was surprised. They gave Pedro. Pedro had plenty of time. He got the running back snuck out. That in this situation, I would have to say that the running back, if you slip him out on these linebackers, they do not see Marcello sliding out of the backfield. Here's Lawler up the middle or Mizurek because they're going to go tight. They don't seem to know what they're doing.
And Pedro calls a timeout on the sideline. So the Wildcats' first timeout of the second half.
The brothers are going to yell at each other coming over here.
Give Pedro a lot of credit for just being able to get up. He looks like he could barely move there, and he throws a pass 22 yards.
Yeah, to Marcello for the first down. I mean, you might want to keep that timeout in your pocket here, but you do need to score. It's this is it's an important set of downs. So you need to call timeout instead of taking the 5-yard penalty. You call the timeout, and at least you live to see another day. You can't worry about the end of the game when you get the touchdown here. So understand why you call timeout. They got a little bit confused what play they wanted to run, and sun's going in a little bit here. Chris is cooling down. Like I said, it's been a beautiful day for football. If you're joining us live, either on cable in Wilmington or Tewksbury on our Patreon channel, welcome. We will be back live again for some high school basketball, both boys and girls, back to back.
Just want to once again give a shout out to our broadcast team today on our cameras today. George Breslin down on the field, Sean Tivnan and Tom Pizarro on the sideline cameras. Our producer director is Adam Dusenberry. He has the production assistant is Jim Buckley today. Ashley Stevens is monitoring things from the control room. Myself, my partner Jim Boyle here up on the sideline in the stands. Handoff to Mizuraka. He marches almost untouched into the end zone. Wildcats are back in it. 29-26.
That little counter play has worked, at least in the short yardage situation. So again, they needed that touch on. Let's see. So down 3. He's going to go for 2 here. Again, the 1-yard run's easy. The 3-yard run's tough. I would trust my seniors here. Erickson, the 2 Germanos, Mizuraka, your offense, your depth of your seniors on your offensive line. I trust them here, but look to see if they get Pedro a little bit in space, and then bring Erickson out of the slot for the score. Erickson on the near side here, 11. So I bet you they go far side.
Heavy on the left side, handoff to Erickson.
No,
Lawler,
he's in. That was Mizuraka, I think.
He's in for the 2-point conversion. Marcello Mizuraka on the 3-yard carry.
Exact same play they ran earlier. So they run both plays back to back, and they cut the lead to 1 with 3:22. I know that my good friend, my play-by-play guy, Chris Neville, mentions everyone else. Nobody ever mentions him. He does a phenomenal job. His preparation is great. He's easy to work with. He makes me look good every day I come out here. So don't want to not forget to give him a shout out to getting us going forward. And I just have to watch the game and enjoy and make a call. He's got to worry about names and numbers.
So the Cats are back in the game, down by a point. 3:22 to go in the third quarter. 29-28.
This will be an interesting kickoff here. Hey, you don't want to give them a short field. This is really going to come down to now for Tewksbury. If they score and they kick, it's trying to keep it a 2-possession game. If they can score, you stop them here. The Cats score, they go for 2 again to keep it make them have to beat you as well. It's going to be an exciting finish.
It continues to be an interesting game here.
Yeah, we were right about the offense. So let's have my math be 57.
John kicks this one down. It's taken on the run by Arbogast, and he's hit solid on the far sideline.
That was Dempsey Murphy, I think, right? Oh,
it was 52 or 53.
That looks like 53 to me.
It was 53, Dempsey Murphy. It was 52, Ali Abukal. Either way, good tackle by the Wildcats on the return. Gives the Redmond the ball at their own 37-yard line.
So let's see how he comes out defensively here. I guess I would imagine he'll come back to 5-3. Mizuraka to the middle. He's going to switch his linebackers on. This is an important series of downs here.
In the shotgun, Fleming keeps the ball, runs off a left tackle, finds running room again, and he's going to be out to the races, to the 30, to the 20, to the 10, and a touchdown.
We could call
63-yard touchdown pass.
This is called big play Thanksgiving, Tewksbury Wilmington, as they keep running up the score. I hate to tell you that my good friend from the town crier, Jamie Pote, he was absolutely right. This was going to be a score fest. So the Cats are going to have to get the ball back real quickly and keep on scoring.
The Tewksbury's had some real success on the off-tackle play. They push out the defensive end for Wilmington, and there just seems to be running room galore on some of these long runs by Fleming and Arbogast.
They're taking advantage of the ends coming hard in, and they just bump them out to open it up. So Cats are gonna. That's one of the drawbacks of having that 5-3. You don't have that other linebacker to hit. The drop ball was dropped. Just tackle him. That's gonna be flags everywhere. Illegal man downfield, all sorts of everything.
I think there's 5 flags on the field. Let's hope it's against Tewksbury for holding and not defensive by Wilmington.
This is a big call. You don't even know, Chris, how big this call is right here. This is a huge call.
Now it's like John Germano's come up a little bit limping.
They're pointing to Tewksbury.
Fact that
they're
the
bringing
ball
everybody
is
back.
there. .306 to go in the third quarter. So the snap was botched.
They're going to call that on Wilmington.
Blake Ryder scrambled around in the backfield.
Face mask on the play. You didn't need the face mask. I guess every official saw that face mask. That's a huge call.
Yeah.
Huge call.
So now Tewksbury will go for 2 instead of 1.
Which makes it a 9-point game. That's big face mask. They're going to shove this right up the middle.
Again.
And 1 yard to go.
Wilson, Dorigo in right behind, right in front of Fleming.
They moved and didn't call it.
But it looks like the Wildcats may have stopped him shy of the goal line. If they did, that's a huge stop.
Nope, they did. That's correct, Chris. No score. Cats only trail by 7 with 3 minutes to play here, third quarter. So even though the face mask penalty gets them half distance to the goal line, they do not score on that play as the Cats just jams out the middle, threatening. You know, here you go. You're going to do this, so I'm going to put everybody right there. And give Coach Turner credit for getting his defensive adjustment made there and not allowed to score.
3:06 to go in the third quarter. Redmond are up 35-28 over the Wildcats. Looks like I think it's John Germano on the sideline, or is it Nate Rabinskis? Kind of hard to tell down at the bottom of the camera.
That's Germano, that's 2.
Yeah, he was limping around a little bit at the end of the first play before the second attempt at conversion.
But the trainer's over here on the left. So I guess it's just maybe a cramp. Those kids are so little tiny. You know, it's easy to get banged up. Here he comes now, the trainer, to check on John.
The Wildcats are still in the game. 3:06 to go, third quarter. So we still have 15 minutes of football ahead of us on this Thanksgiving Day.
And we're back down to 1-score game. So you're gonna. So kickoff again. Here it'll be big. He's got see if Tewksbury tries to do the same thing. The Cats have done a good job in fielding the kickoff and not allowing them to get yards after the ball hits the ground, which is very important here. You want to have a short field if you can get it. Erickson's back instead of Germano, so it's Lawler and Erickson back deep for the Cats. Wait for the whistle of the official and we'll kick off.
So we got Erickson deep back now instead of Germano, along with
Lawler.
Brian Lawler. Michael
Popped
Lawler.
it up. Catch it. Good play.
Good play by Abukel again. He takes the ball. Wildcats again, good field position at their own 42-yard line.
I tell you something, Chris. I don't think they teach linemen to fair catch. he could have
what to do with it.
Yep. He did. He caught it, dropped to the ground, and put it down. Again, great field position to start the drive. Problem is the Cats, Tewksbury's had 6 drives and scored on 5 of them. So it's this is really coming down to it's just who gets the ball last and who's going to score, especially since we're back down to 1-score game. Big. We're going to go back and forth here this Thanksgiving morning as we get closer to Thanksgiving afternoon.
Mallinson and John Germano wide to the right. Lawler and Erickson on the left side. Mizuraka stays in the backfield with Pedro. Back to pass. Looks downfield.
He's got Erickson.
Ericsson's
He's got him.
open,
Get him.
and he can't quite catch up to it. Incomplete at the 24-yard line. He was open.
Erickson with a double move, beat his man. Pedro just threw that just a bit out of reach. That's the right call to make there, though. Anytime they go single coverage on Gavin, I would throw to him.
Good pass protection by the offensive line on that one. Pedro had plenty of time to look downfield to pick his man out.
It's now it's going to be a matter of reading who's got the man-to-man, who's got the single coverage on them. See if they drop the safety down. If Erickson comes over, I would imagine Erickson in the slot over to the right, so they don't know he's not sitting out front.
Redmond playing a 4-man line. Pitch
get
back to Mizuraka. Punches out around right tackle. It picks up about 5, almost 6 yards, just shy of midfield.
Strung it out, look for the hole, hit the hole when he had to, picks up 5 yards. Not a bad second down run. So your third and medium, we'll call it. But again, you got to go for these now because it looks. I don't know what your success of stopping Tewksbury would be. So this I would consider if again Coach Turner's 2-down guy here anyway. He should prove that in the playoff against Middleborough. So you got 2 chances to get 5 yards. See if they get
Mizuraka comes out now. Pedro keeps it.
Oh, come on, hit your block.
Oh, this is going to come back. Pedro had enough running room for the first down, but that's going to come back. Holding by one of the offensive linemen by the Wildcats in the backfield.
Yeah, that's the negative play you don't want. Not only that, your quarterback gets rocked. And now you'll be a 3rd and 15. So now I'll change my philosophy. If they don't pick up enough yards here, you would almost have to punt here because it is a 1-score game. So again, they can look to see who's got man-to-man coverage. That play there, if he runs this way, Mizuraka can get open in the flat as he comes in motion. I mean, that might be something they'll look to as we go further on down the road here as we're running out of time in the 3rd quarter. But again, you really got to see who. So.
Okay, so 3rd and about 18 for the Wildcats. Pedro back to pass, gets good protection. Now he scrambles out, and he's going to go down for another loss. The 5 defensive linemen for Tewksbury are able to corral him as he tried to scramble out of the pocket. So it's going to be 4th down for the Wildcats at their own 26.
He had Erickson was very well covered. He's solely focused on Erickson. That would have been better off Pedro get out of the tackle box. Outside the tackle box, just throw that ball out of bounds instead of taking the 15-yard loss. So a penalty and a sack pushes it way back. They had a 3rd and 5, and now they have a 4th and 26. So
Pedro comes in, punt formation, stands at his own 15, another high snap. Whoa, he got a nice kick away. It sails over the head of Fleming, who lets it bounce, and now he picks it up. He's being chased by the Wildcats down the sideline. Dances around. There's a holding call on Tewksbury, and the ball is down at the 35-yard line. So it's probably going to come back. Like John Germano came up a little bit lame. He might have been the one that was grabbed as he tried to chase Fleming down.
So I'll go back 10 yards.
So the spot of the foul is at the 32, 33-yard line, so it should bring the ball back inside the 25.
I didn't see the call. Here we go. Good call, whatever it was. I didn't see.
That was a case where, Fleming let the ball sail over his head. I think he was going to let it just die, but the punt was so good that the Wildcats didn't have good coverage downfield on it. They were able to pick it up and run with it. So the ball is going to be down inside the 20. It's going to be at the 17-yard line.
Called that a personal foul, Chris. So they did something they weren't supposed to do, and it was very personal. So therefore, it was a personal foul.
And we'll see it on the replay, I'm sure, when we have that up and running.
Not trying to be funny, but the bird at my house is a personal foul. There you go.
Yeah, very good.
I didn't even get Jamie to laugh.
They're laughing, and the whole
they're really
stadium is laughing at that one.
If my wife and kids are watching this, they're cringing. They're like cringing, like, oh my God, can you believe Dad just said that? Now they're cringing even more. Here we go.
1st and 10 at the 17, 18-yard line for Tewksbury. Fleming, handoff. DeRigo cuts back, finds open running room again downfield. The only one to catch him is John Germano. And he's down for another Tewksbury touchdown. 82-yard touchdown, Justin DeRigo.
That's almost the exact same play they run with the
Alex Arbogast. Who am I giving credit to? Arbogast on the touchdown.
Arbogast, the track star.
He
with a burst of speed. He almost went untouched off the right side. Cats have not really had it's not been good on this side. So somebody's down in the end zone for the Cats. not going to speculate, but I'm going to say that it's Germano because he's doing his leg, John Germano, cramping up here on Thanksgiving. So now they're down 2 scores.
Arbogast and Fleming have killed the Wildcats so far today.
Yeah, their running game and their speed, you know, they power and speed and not being able to tackle. I mean, I think Cats have been killed by just not being able to tackle as well, Chris.
So LeGrand in to attempt the extra point again. Ball is down, and it's a squib kick, but it's good enough over the uprights. So with 42 seconds to go in the third quarter, Tewksbury jumps out to 42-28 lead.
Cats will trail by 2 scores, 14. Get vitally important now again, Chris. This is you're on down 7 last time. They've had 2 scores on 2 plays. So they had a first drive of the half where they scored on a long touchdown drive, and then the quarterback had the long run, and then Arbogast had the long run, correct? Or
right, 63 by Fleming on the previous series, and now 82 by Arbogast.
Yeah, that's been, and I think it's been only on first play of this drive as well.
I think you're right. Yeah.
So they've run the exact same play. They're taking advantage of the end coming in hard. They're just kicking the end out. The tackle on the on that side is being blocked, and they just cut through the hole, and the linebacker has to fill that hole. And again, playing the 5-3 might have caused some confusion, but they're just running right by the linebacker there. And here, see if he chips this up in the air again as they put hands guys back here.
Okay, LeGrand kicks it off long this time to Erickson, who takes it at his own 20, cuts over the 25 to the 30, finds good running room. He's out to the 40, 41-yard line. So the Cats continue to have good field position on the kickoffs, but the last series of downs, they weren't able to punch it in. And I think they're getting a little thin on healthy ball players, at least the skill position players. So good run back by Erickson on the kickoff.
So now you really got to open it up. You got 36 seconds. You're having trouble stopping Tewksbury, which is what was going to be expected. Tewksbury gets the one stop there on the holding penalty, and then the sack, and then they take the next after the punt and the penalty. They go 82 yards. You know, it's imperative they score here. And again, John's going to make Pedro Germano is going to make really good calls here.
Pitch back to
Double
Mizuraka,
throw.
finds a man wide open down the sideline.
John
He's got
Germano.
it, John Germano, and he's going to be taken down inside the 20.
Little trick play out Coach Turner's sleeve. Yeah, not to give credit to a friend of mine who works for the Town Crier, but he said, don't be surprised if you see Coach Turner run some gadget play, and that was your gadget play. It got you far down the field.
John actually stepped out at the 18-yard line, so it's going to be Cats ball, first down and 10, 28 seconds to go in the third quarter. Wildcats ran that play a little while ago, and I think they faked it out to Mizuraka, and
right.
But this time they pitched it back to him on the lateral, and here goes Marcello again with big running room over the left tackle, left guard position inside the 10 down to the 9-yard line, just shy of another first down.
Third time they've run that play in the last 2-3 drives, and Marcello has done a good job in picking up yards or scoring the touchdown, getting the 2-point conversion. Good throw though. Marcello had him open. He got the ball down there in a good spot. It looks like we're going to get the playoff here.
Pedro looks downfield, throws the ball, and it's going to be overthrown in the end zone, intended for Erickson, just over the end line. It's going to be the end of the third quarter. But the Wildcats are going to be 3rd and 2 as we take the position at the other end of the field as we start the fourth quarter. So we will be back for fourth quarter action of today's Turkey Day game right after this.
Hi, welcome to the Wildcat TV Patreon page. Our Wildcat TV Patreon is where you can view all the video content WCTV produces at Wilmington schools. It is where we will post all recent videos as well as special live streams. This is the best place online for you to view videos of the sports, concerts, and events at Wilmington Public Schools. Don't worry, we will continue to broadcast all Wildcat TV content on cable television for cable subscribers to watch. Wildcat TV is brought to you by Wilmington Community Television, your town's nonprofit, independent cable television studio. WCTV has been in Wilmington since the 1980s. We are a resource for any Wilmington resident to learn skills in video production, to create your own show, or capture the local events that matter to you. We strive to cover as many Wilmington events as we can, and in recent years, we have produced more programming than ever. Unfortunately, WCTV is facing a serious threat. Year after year, Wilmington residents are cutting the cord to their cable television providers in favor of streaming over-the-top services like Netflix, Paramount Plus, Disney Plus, and Hulu. Our funding comes directly from Comcast and Verizon, based on the number of cable subscribers we have in town. To put it simply, we can no longer afford to give away video content online. WCTV wants to continue bringing you the concerts, athletics, and academic content you have come to expect. Whether you join the Patreon for just a month to view a special program or choose to support us year-round, we are grateful for your support. Thank you, and go Wildcats!
Okay, so as we get ready to start the fourth quarter action today, Tewksbury 42, Wildcats 28. Jim, we've talked about it a couple times today. You talked about it with Jamie at halftime. This is a big play game so far, and right now the Wildcats are fighting back.
Yeah, it's imperative, like I said earlier, they score here. But even if they score, they're going to have to get a stop. They've gotten one stop in 7 drives. Tewksbury scored on 6 of their 7 drives to get to 42 points. A lot of it on big plays. They've pounded in. They got a big play and scored quick. So it's opportunity here for the Cats to cut it to 1 score. And they get a full quarter to play. You just have to have 1 stop and then have an opportunity to get the ball back with a needed to score. And again, it's been a really entertaining game. Both teams playing hard. Really, you love seeing big offense. Good crowd here. Everybody's getting antsy to get home and eat, I'm sure, as we get closer to the noontime hour. But it'll be a very, very interesting set of play calls because it's 3rd and 2. So the Cats are ready to go. Back to you, Chris.
They need a touchdown here, not a field goal. So Mizuraka are in the backfield with Lawler. Pedro hands off to Erickson on the end around, and he's going to be inside the 5-yard line, knocked out of bounds. First down, Wildcats.
Good hard run there. He got hit a couple of times. They stayed up and got the first down and plenty more. So now it'll be 1st and goal. Again, get this punched in as quickly as you can.
That play has worked all season long, at least 1 or 2 times a game.
Right, and then you bring him out of the slot, bring him motion, get him the ball. Again, here you have a number of things you can do. I would be shocked to see them run that little counter with Mizuraka going off the left side. Hang.
Luke Murphy in a tight end position, handoff up the middle.
And he did not make
shy
it.
of the shy of the goal line, down about the 1 or 2 yard line.
Okay, now I'd run that exact same play again because you're getting the yards. All you got to get, as Marcello, just got to get a little bit of edge. A little bit of space, he'll score, and that's what they got the 2-point conversion on. Because you're going to go 4 plays here. It's not a lot of space to get your receivers open. But again, see if they line up with Lawler in the fullback slot and Mizuraka off to the right, and see if they go off that left side again.
I want to send a quick shout out to the offensive line for the Wildcats. Jake Chiricello anchoring them today, Adam Sulik, Jack Malloy, Ali Abukal, but Johnny Rind has gone from tight end
touchdown
to the shy of the goal line.
No.
Johnny Ryan is playing the offensive guard position today, and he's stepped up again. He's usually a tight end, so he's had a great season defensively, and he's very versatile on the offensive side of the ball too. Going to bring up 3rd down and goal for the Wildcats at the 1-yard line.
Again, you can 2 choices here. I'd set up to run that play again, and then have Pedro option it, have it be a read option, and if Pedro doesn't see it open, try to if this right end pinches too much, have Pedro just take it in by himself over here. And they're going to stack him up. Pedro's going to try to take this in himself.
Tight offense for the Wildcats. Pedro looks like they're not ready to call it yet.
Yeah, they did.
Find out. Yep. Is he in? Touchdown Wildcats. 1-yard touchdown run by Pedro Germano. And the slugfest back and forth continues.
Good play calling there down at the 2 or 3 yard line. They went Mizuraka left, and then Pedro straight up the middle. Extra point here is huge. You need to kick this. This needs to be successful to keep it at 7. Because if you're at 8 here, they score and kick the extra point, you are in big trouble.
I think the Germano boys are going to have a good Thanksgiving feast when they get home later on if they have enough energy left. Ball down, kick is up, kick is good through the uprights, and we're back to a one-touchdown game. 10 minutes to go in the game today. Tewksbury 42, Wilmington 35.
Now it's going to be all up to the defense. See if we get some stops. Understand what they've done, that they're trying to kick that end out. See if coach makes an adjustment, if the coaches up here are seeing something that they might not see down the field. But all they're doing is kicking the end out and beating the linebacker to the hole. So now it'll be a matter of kicking the, it's been run like 3 or 4 times in the last hour and a half or so, Chris. It's been run for 80 yards and 60 yards. So again, this is the adjustment period of time. So the kids can make an adjustment. You got to think if you're a senior right now, for the majority of the seniors, both sides, Tewksbury and Wilmington, this is the last 10 minutes you're ever going to play tackle football. And it's you might as well enjoy yourself.
You mentioned earlier, Tewksbury's only been stopped once in the game early on in the first quarter. They've only punted the one time. I think the Wildcats have only punted maybe once or twice. Twice, I think.
Twice, because they first half and the first drive of the first half and then second half drive, that's where they had the penalty and the sack. Correct, Chris.
So John steps into the ball. This one comes down to Arbogast at the 26-yard line, and now he's met by 3 Wildcat tacklers. Slowed up his forward progress, and then he was able to be wrapped up.
So here we go. We're just under 10 minutes. Tewksbury with a 7-point lead. Cats haven't beat Tewksbury since 2009. Get a stop here and try to put the ball in the end zone. The emphasis on get a stop here on first down and see if they don't give the big play. See if Tewksbury changes anything up or just continues to count on their athletes. The quarterback Fleming and Arbogast have been just running right through and all over the Cats.
Dempsey Murphy in on the tackle for the Wildcats on that return. 1st and 10 Tewksbury at their own 33.
So he's still in the 5-3. So here it's important that Murphy and Rooney don't get kicked out on that little sweep.
Okay, we're down to still a 5-man front for the Wildcats. A lot of movement lining up in the backfield. It's going to be pound and ground here from all looks of it. Keeps it. Sprints out, and he's going to be he's hit by John Germano, but he's taken down by a host of tacklers for little or no gain on the far sideline. Luke Murphy in on the tackle, number 7. Look like Johnny Rind over there.
Luke Murphy got to the spot he was supposed to be. He got beat up a little bit to the edge, but Germano filled that gap, made the initial hit, and Murphy got out to make the tackle. They got to be careful there because you don't want him to turn the corner and get the edge on you. You got to force everything more inside. So it's really got to be important for both Murphy and Rudy to heads up defensive end play here. Don't give them that hole. Really just keep forcing them in.
Peter LeBlanc comes in, number 41 for the Wildcats at linebacker position, 2nd and 9 for Tewksbury. Hand off the second man through. Good pursuit by the Wildcats.
Great play there again. That was
Murphy again on the tackle. Dempsey Murphy.
And Rooney forced that play in. So Rooney did a great job, number 9, maintaining his edge, forcing in Dempsey Murphy there to make the tackle. That's what they need to do on that play. Kick it kicked out. So again, we're down to 3rd and 7. But I would imagine with this part of the field that if he doesn't make it here, he'll punt.
Big 3rd down play.
Yeah, but we're again, every time we've had a big 3rd down play, we have not been too successful here this morning. Or as we roll into the afternoon, opposed to this morning. So again, this is it. I mean, you make the stop here, you get the ball back, and anything can happen. So let's go Cats.
So 2 receivers split out wide to the right for the Redmen. 4-man rush. Looks downfield, and it's caught. 1st down. Across the 1st down marker at the 47-yard line.
Good little curl route there by the receiver to run Germano off a little bit, and then he curled back across, make sure he was past the 1st down marker. Good throw, good rollout. That's how that play was made. The quarterback made that play, getting out into space and just using his athleticism to get a good throw.
Mike Sullivan on the reception for Tewksbury.
So Tewksbury has executed very well on offense today.
3rd down efficiency has been very, very successful, which has allowed them to help score 42 points so far today. So Arbogast comes out far to the left side of the offensive line. Quarterback keeper,
again,
middle,
he got the
wide
edge
open. And he's going to be running for another touchdown on the sideline. Danny Fleming, 53 yards. I think the calculators are going to break on his total running plays today.
Yeah, he's going to go for about 250 yards. Again, they got the edge there. He just cut right off the. He moved to the right side. The end on that the responsibility there is that you got to pinch that in quicker. You got a little space of gap, got between the linebackers, cut left across the field, used his speed to score the touchdown. That plays again. They've run that play up and down all day, and it's killing us defensively.
LeGrand in for his 7th extra point, and it's offside against the Wildcats. Marked the ball half the distance to the goal from the 1.5 yard line.
Yes.
You know, Jim, we knew that this was going to be a horse race today. I didn't expect the Redmen to come up with 48 to 49 points, still with 8 minutes to go in the game.
Yeah, horse race is the fact. We could go over 50 at some point, but they've done a good job with the big plays that absolutely killed the Cats here.
Kick is up and good by LeGrand. So with 7:56 to go in the game, Tewksbury jumps out 49-35 over the Wildcats.
You're back to a 14-point deficit. So the Cats are going to have to get a quick score, and then I would imagine try to get a successful onside kick, and try to see if they can score 14 points in 8 minutes.
Quick shout out again, WCTV's live coverage today. We hope you're enjoying it if you're watching live, but whether you're watching it live or not, we still need volunteers to help cover some of the winter athletic sports. So the hockey, basketball, indoor track. I wouldn't be surprised if we try swimming and a couple of other events.
Swimming's right up my alley, Chris.
Well, we were talking about that on the ride down to Foxborough a couple of weeks ago, or down to Middleborough. Yeah.
Swimming. I swam for 4 years in high school, so.
So you know what the 20-yard breaststroke is, and the 100-yard backstroke, and all that
Correct.
stuff. So if we have volunteers, we can cover this, folks. If we don't have volunteers, whether it be parents, aunts, uncles, younger children, we can't cover them because this is a volunteer operation to a large extent at WCTV, as Jimmy and I are. So LeGrand tees the ball is up at the 40. Once again, John Germano and Mike Lawler are back deep. This one comes down, and it's going to go to Lawler. Picks it up on the sideline at the 15. He's hemmed in, but he finds room on the sideline. He's able to scamper across the 25 down to the 26, 27, 28-yard line.
That's what you call, I'm surprised he picked it up because it looks like it was going out of bounds, but he made chicken salad out of that, so we'll give him credit. Good pickup, makes a negative play a positive play. I won't say what he made it out of, so sorry. How about we say turkey salad for Thanksgiving?
Salad, yeah. Okay.
Again, hopefully my family's not watching us live because that's going to get me in trouble again at home, that comment.
So Wildcats have 7 minutes and 50 seconds to try to come up with 2 touchdowns and also stop Tewksbury. They have the ball 1st and 10 at their own 28-yard line. Once again, Pedro calls signals. Mizaraka in the backfield, 3 wide receivers split. Whitey looks downfield. He sprints out, and he's going to be taken down on a hard tackle for no gain. Co-captain Nick Wilson for Tewksbury in on the tackle.
Looked like he had nobody open. Good defensive secondary play by Tewksbury. He had nobody open. He tried to run again. Maybe he went a little quick with that, but now we're gonna no gain. So you get three down. Again, every spot here is gonna be a 4-down spot for the Cats.
Luke Murphy comes back in at tight end position. Mizaraka alone in the backfield again. John and Mike Lawler to the right. Marcello steps out, inside handoff to Erickson. He's going to be stopped for a loss of a yard.
Yeah, this is not looking promising for the Wildcats right now. They're going to have to get a big play here out of Germano. Again, they haven't thrown the ball really over the middle much either, which, again, we'll see what they do. But I like that little slant route Scott, I think he's switching Mallinson in for Luke Murphy, two of our basketball players. We'll see them this winter for boys basketball.
3rd and 11 for the Wildcats. Clock continues to run. 4 wide receivers split.
They're going to blitz
Mizuraka
everybody.
stays in to block, and Pedro lets the ball go.
There's going to be a flag. This will be interesting. They're going to be roughing the passer on that. Tewksbury's getting a little chippy here. You know, they've got this pretty much, they figure out in the bag. They've been a little bit chippy. So hopefully they're going to call intentional grounding as it gets rocked. No.
Okay, just intentional grounding by Pedro. So it's a loss of down. Going to bring up punt formation again for the Wildcats.
Yeah, they blitzed everyone. They brought the 2 linebackers there, so Pedro tried to get rid of it. He got rocked right at the end. It's weird how the flag came late from the ref. The umpire here in the middle of the field threw the flag for the intentional grounding. The ref threw it late. That's why I thought it was a roughing. But
another high snap. Ball's away, end over end, coming down toward the 40-yard line. It's inside the 40. Actually, it's outside the 40, and it's down by Mizuraka at the Wilmington 47-yard line. So Tewksbury takes over after a fairly short kick by Pedro.
So the Cats will need some kind of miracle here, Chris. Down 14, Tewksbury has the ball inside there in the Wilmington territory with just under 6 minutes to play.
It's been a clean game, Jimmy. I don't think we've had any turnovers that I can recall.
Nope, no
Not
turnovers.
very many penalties at all.
And I think the penalties that the Cats have gotten have really hurt them, we'll say. That's the thing that I noticed. You know, think about it. They had the 3rd and 5. They got the holding penalty. They had they were 3rd down and 10. He threw the intentional grounding. Those small little incremental things in the second half have really hurt the Cats.
Fleming behind center. And
Inside
off up
handoff.
the middle to Dorigo. He's going to be brought down by Genti, and Marcello Mizuraka gain of 2 yards to the 45-yard line.
Mizuraka get banged up a little bit there on the bottom of that tackle. Again, Tewksbury's going to be satisfied with just bleeding the clock a little bit. They got a 2-touchdown lead.
I want to correct something. All year long, I've been calling Ivinson Genti by Evenson. I've been mispronouncing his first name. Talked to him this morning at breakfast. Ivinson, he goes by Ivy, and he's played a good, solid defensive game here today for the Wildcats.
Yeah, very, very pleasant conversation with him today, too. Good young man.
Fleming keeps the ball. Yep. This time here, Luke Murphy makes a good stop, prevents the first down, but it's inside the 40-yard line at the 39. Luke was able to break off the block and come back in to corral the quarterback.
Yeah, they've done a really good job kicking the ends out, kicking them out. You know, and you gotta shed that block, and just that linebackers are the outside linebacker. They must be getting engaged too. So not sure. Again, they got 2 possessions. 2 more plays. They could run this down under 30 minutes. They're in no rush. The buses are sitting out there. We won't say they've fired up the buses yet because I'll get mail. My Wilmington friends will get mad at me. But
are we still hoping to go down on the sideline post game? Probably not. Okay.
No, I don't want to. It's tough enough to play your last game. It's tough to lose that last game too.
Mike Sullivan split wide to the left side of the Tewksbury offense. Wildcats jump. Good defensive pressure by the Wildcats is going to prevent the first down, but
No,
I guess they got it. Yep, down to the 37-yard line, so Tewksbury gets a new series of downs.
So now it's just a matter of time here. They can run clock as they move the chains. The quarterback's getting beat up a little bit, though. He's going to enjoy his turkey dinner today and when he goes home.
Playing both ways and returning kicks and punts. You know, he's such a strong ball carrier. Inside the 4-minute mark.
Fleming and Abergast have really played well today for the Tewksbury Redmond. Got to give you got to give credit where credit's due. They played well. They made the big plays. They made the plays they needed to make on defense. You know, Cats have played admirably. You scored 20. They've scored 35 points. You know, Marcello Mizuraka, Gavin Erickson, the two Germano brothers. You know, really good offensively. All these seniors, I think there were about 16 or 17 seniors that are playing their final game here at Alumni Stadium for the Cats. So not only do you have the disappointment of losing, you have the disappointment is this is the final game you'll play as well. So
it's been a good 2021. I mean, the spring football season was a success for the Wildcats after many years. Looks like Coach Elwood called timeout on the sideline. 3:07 to go in the game. But yeah, I think they played, was it 4-2, 5-3 in the spring season, and now they've had a good season for the fall as well. Tewksbury, to their credit, big, strong team up front with a big, strong, strapping quarterback and a couple of real elusive running backs. It's made it very difficult for the Wildcats today.
that is correct. But again, you got to look back at the whole season as a whole. They won only for the second time in their history. They won a playoff game. Down, they had to travel forever. They went all over the Middleborough, went down to Foxborough, played Foxborough tough for 2.5 quarters. Then the strength and size of Foxborough just sort of ate them up a little bit. But they have nothing to be ashamed of. I mean, I know they want to, at some point we will snap this long skid with Tewksbury. I just don't think it's going to be today. But you know, the two towns have been playing each other forever. And Tewksbury has been dominating lately. This was a good opportunity. They played with them. So it's a good opportunity for
PA guy here, Kevin Kyra, mentioning the thumbs up to the cheerleaders on both sides of the field today. Tewksbury and Wilmington cheerleaders are here rooting on their home teams.
The Wilmington cheerleaders were Freedom Division champions. I'll be having them on my Wildcat Sports Update show sometime in the next 2 weeks. Just had the girls cross country group in.
Had a great season.
That should be on air sometime either the end of this week, beginning of next week.
Okay, so Fleming dances out. Flag on the play is probably going to be a holding against Tewksbury, brought down for a gain of about 2 yards. Good pursuit by the Wildcat defenders on that play.
Yeah, that was again. You got to the ends have to shed that block and force that play further up inside, and don't let them get into the gap here outside the, we'll call it the hash marks down here. But Tewksbury's, the physicality and that they showed with the quarterback, and the speed with Abergath, the combination of those two have spelled trouble for the Cats defense all afternoon, all morning.
That was a 2-yard gain for Tewksbury. The penalty was declined, but the clock did stop. 2:56 to go in the game. Figure if
so second down.
The clock is now running. So Fleming will let the seconds tick down until the official gives the signal for 10 seconds, which he's done. Hand off to Arbogast off a right tackle. This time he's going to be met by a host of Wildcats.
So Coach will call Coach Turner will call timeout here. Try to slow down the running of the clock.
Rooney, Rind, and looks like Chiricello in on the tackle. Third down and about 3. Timeout on the field. Called by Wilmington. Again, thank you again for joining us today. Congratulations again to the division. Make sure we get this right. Pop Warner U under 10 team for the Wildcats as they go for their championship game in Connecticut this coming weekend. And as the seconds tick down, we hope everybody that has been watching live has a great Thanksgiving Day dinner with family and friends, and a healthy one to boot.
Yeah, because this is the last nice warm day we're going to have for a while, so I think we're going to go into the winter time after this. We got lucky today. I like getting getting good weather here for Thanksgiving. We've had warm days, we've had cold days. And I want to also thank anybody from Tewksbury who's watching on the Tewksbury TV for joining us. Hope we have called the game as fair as you would have expected us to. We are Wilmington residents.
And I know Doucette Field has a brand new field. I'm looking forward to seeing that next year. I know they don't play at the high school. They're still over, I think, at Doucette, but I think everything's redone over there for next year, so looking forward to seeing that as well.
Still trying to convince us, let's get the game at Fenway.
Maybe next year.
Yeah, I have to try to talk to the AD about that. Talk to Mia.
Okay, handoff, big right tackle gain. Another holding call. Tewksbury's got some of their backup players in. Hunter Johnson on that carry though, but that one's going to have to be called back because it went for a first down. So the clock will stop at 2:12. It's going to be 3rd down and about 12 for Tewksbury.
Yeah, like I said, it's getting chippy. The officials got to be careful here. Don't want the chippiness to impact the end of the game. Holding call. Like I said, it's 16 odd seniors we have playing their final game. They did a really good job. They stayed with it. It's now at 14, but we were in a ball game. We were down 7, and then they had the 2 big plays, which sort of opened it up for Tewksbury with the Abergast and the Fleming runs. Cats have had their share of excitement. Marcello Mizraga and Germano brothers, as well as Erickson, scored a touchdown.
I think everybody on the Atlantic side of the Atlantic Ocean, the U.S. side of the Atlantic Ocean for the Mizraga family is here today. Talked to them a little bit before the game, and they were looking forward to seeing Marcello's last game in high school. 3rd and 13. We're ready to start the clock. Fleming back. He's going to run with it. This time he's brought down in the backfield on a tough tackle.
Chiricello.
Dempsey Murphy and Jake Chiricello went on the tackle. 4th down. Another timeout call by Coach Turner as he tries to give the Wildcats one more shot.
Yeah, you would have to say that's a great timeout, because you know what? There are 2 minutes left to play. You get the ball back. You score quick. You do an onside kick. You score quick. You can still do it. I mean, we won't fire up any buses yet because the Cats are going to get the ball back.
I think that's the last timeout for the Wildcats.
Yes. But there is still an opportunity. It's all you ask for in life is to get that little bit of opportunity.
Thanks again to our crew today for covering today's game live and on replay.
So hopefully get this, I would imagine he'd punt here. So you get your hand, get everybody back, and maybe get a nice little punt return, and all will be well. Take the long walk home today.
Yeah, the crowd's starting to thin out a little bit here at Alumni Field. We had a good crowd on hand today.
Yeah, probably between, I would guess, 2,200 and 2,500 people is my guess. We'll have to check with the AD before, all the...
Thank the band for a great halftime show. Cheerleaders for supporting the teams on both sides. Fabulous clock management by our official here in the press box, who's done a phenomenal job. I just wish the game would come to an end a little bit quicker here if we're not going to win.
So they will punt, Chris, as we wind down the final 2 minutes of the 2021 fall season. For everything, this will be the last game, and we'll start, actually winter season tryouts start on Monday.
High snap, pass downfield, and it's going to be complete. And for first down and a touchdown. And guess who it is? Danny Fleming, number 9, the wide guy for Tewksbury. The cover guy gets another touchdown for Tewksbury. I think that one caught the Wildcats off guard. In fact, there's no doubt.
That one caught them completely off guard. So I will keep my mouth shut. But it was still a game, 14-point game, but I'll keep my mouth shut right now. Because we do have people listening from Tewksbury, and
maybe unnecessary, but maybe a message sent by Coach Elwood, I'm not sure, because of the timeouts. But LeGrand in for another extra point attempt, 55-35 right now.
Kick is good.
Kick is good, 56-35, 1:52 to go in the game.
It's not just a matter of running it out. If I was coach, you just don't get anybody hurt and run out the ball game here.
Okay, I'm trying to think. That was probably about a 50-yard touchdown pass.
Just about that. Yeah, they were like at the 52, maybe 51. You're right. Do the 50. 50 is a good number.
Once again, Fleming kills the Wildcats. There were three guys downfield for Tewksbury, and John Germano was by himself in the defensive backfield. So I think a little lapse of concentration on the kick coverage.
So that'll salt this game away, Chris. So with 1:52 to play, Cats have been outscored 56-35, which is, if my math is correct, is 91, right?
I think that's the over. That's very comfortably over what we expected today.
That is correct. And now more and more people.
You're right. Your math is right for this one. Yeah.
More and more people file out as well here as we round this game out.
So LeGrand tees the ball up. Once again, Lawler and John Germano back deep, standing at their 20-yard line. Short kick over the sideline, and that should be down the 32-yard line.
So Cats will take over for their last possession of 2021 season.
Nick Iasconi, get his name in the scorebook. He took that short kick by Tewksbury, number 24. So let's see what Coach Turner elects to do, if we're just going to pound it out and see what happens, or if he's going to take another chance.
My guess is he'll let them run it out, see what they can do, give the seniors one last shot here as we get ready to call it a day.
4 wide receivers again set for the Wildcats. Pedro back to pass, pressure's on, he scrambles, finds a little bit of running room on the sideline, keeps the ball, and then he runs along the sideline, dances out for a first down, almost to the 45-yard line. First down, timeout.
Good luck. Thank you.
Hey fellas, have a nice Thanksgiving.
Thank you too.
Went the way we wanted it to.
That's true. Coaches are exiting the press box. Clock is stopped as he went out of bounds on the first down. Again, a good opportunity here to see what they can do, and we'll just run the clock down. And I hate to say it's time to start the buses, but it's time to start the buses as people file out of here. We call our final game. We'll be back next September.
And we'll be back in another few weeks for basketball.
That's correct. That was
downfield, John Germano can't come back to the ball, incomplete.
No flag there either. That's amazing.
Well, I think that might have been John was trying to get by. The defender had position on him. That's what it looked like to me.
Yeah, that's okay. So. Game's over anyway. We shouldn't complain. Yeah, we'll be back for basketball. Like I said, we're going to do double headers. I think is what's scheduled. We got male and female, boys and girls back to back. So it'll be you'll get to hear play-by-play by me.
Like the melodious voice of Jim Boyle, like every sport at Wilmington High School.
Like for 4 hours consecutively on a Friday night. I'm sure everyone's looking forward to that. I'm looking forward. It should be a fun season. We got basketball team has got a lot of returning players, both male and female, boys and girls. Girls team's going to be a little bit younger than we were probably used to, but she's done a great job, and he'll be tackled. There'll be a face mask.
Pedro stopped from the backfield. Looks like a flag on the play for a face mask call, so the clock stops again with 1:25 to go in the game.
Yeah, that'll be a face mask. And like I said, the boys and girls hockey, we're looking for camera people for that. We might have somebody for the girls. Girls hockey is playing co-op with Stoneham. Like you mentioned, swimming is co-op with North Reading. We have gymnastics starting, which is co-op with Bedford. We have wrestling. Don't forget wrestling. And then indoor track. And I think that's everything.
But it can only be done if we have people to help out.
Correct.
We don't have a huge, maybe
huge volunteer base is what we're trying to say.
Maybe an unintentional face mask play there, I guess. Second down. It's not an automatic first down on the sideline over there. So second down and 10 for the Wildcats.
Probably picked up the flag.
Pedro looks downfield, good coverage. He's scrambling. He still gets away. Give him credit down the sideline, cuts back across the 40, across the 50.
Well, they're going to get a flag back here too. They should just run
this
the clock
last
here.
4 minutes of this game has taken
forever.
25 minutes. So this is a penalty against Wilmington now for a holding. 56 seconds to go in the game.
Yeah, the chippiness here is out of Not a good way to end here on Thanksgiving. He's pointing at somebody. I'll bring it all the way back. So it'll be 2nd down and long, 20.
At least, actually more than that. It's going to be 2nd and about 30. How about 40?
Holy cow.
Yeah, he was way in the
Spot of the
backfield.
foul, yeah.
The spot of the foul, sure. So,
2 plays for the Cats here to end the season. Like I said, Chris, been good working with you and with our staff. I got to really give a shout out to Adam Dusenberry, who WCTV production manager, director, producer of Wildcat Sports here. Makes my job a lot easier to do. He does a great job. Got us back on live when we had to get back on live. That's flipped over to Johnny Rind. Runs it up the middle. That looks like they'll run the clock there. So like I said, I want to thank everyone, especially you, Chris. Chris Nettle does a great job doing play-by-play. So that'll do it for us, I think, here on Thanksgiving.
they might try one more play. 3rd down. It was a lateral back to Johnny Rind, who brought the ball forward about 15 yards, I think. Pedro lets it go long and deep downfield to his brother, who falls incomplete.
So that'll do it. They'll turn the ball over on downs with 6 seconds left. They're trying to separate the people. They're getting a little, like I said, a little bit chippier than you wanted. Is this going to be 4th down then? Or 1st down?
I think it's 4th down for the Wildcats. It's been an entertaining game. I mean, it got out of hand here toward the end of the
Yes.
4th quarter. But all in all, both teams played very, very hard. Congratulations to the Redmen for winning again today. And again, as you said, we had a good time. We had a good run this year with the Wildcats to get into the playoffs, won their first playoff game. So hopefully they'll be back next year as good as ever. 4th down, Pedro looks downfield, pressure's on. Once again, he's scrambling. He's got to be tired. He fumbles the ball, keeps on going across midfield, inside the 45
Nice
for a first down. If there was any time left on the clock, we'd probably still be playing.
Nice way to end your career. All right.
All right. Good run by Pedro. Final score today at Wilmington High School's Alumni Field. Tewksbury 56, Wilmington Wildcats 35. A good game. Hope you all had a good Thanksgiving Day, everybody. Enjoy the rest of the day. And thanks for joining us. Don't forget where we are. Come down and join us to volunteer. Have a good Thanksgiving. Bye.